Okay, so it didn't actually play the videos. I think we are just live without the video.
Wonder how long that's been going on. That's terrifying. We could be in serious trouble here.
Right, guys, I think we are actually live. If you just drop into chat to let me know, because Mike's left me with the buttons, which he's not meant to do, and the video hasn't played. So if we are actually live, please do something, drop into the chat and let me know so that I'm not just talking like an absolute idiot.
Well, she's been talking like an absolute idiot for the last half hour, but at least we would know.
Like, because I think we should be able to see the video playing if it's playing. Maybe the video is playing. Maybe that's how you're saying that we are live or not.
I don't know. Somebody talk to us. Yes, we can. You can hear us. Can you see us, Dave?
Okay, so obviously the video hasn't worked, but welcome to the Blether. We are live.
That means we can sit back and chill.
We've been chatting for so long that yeah, I kind of got a bit complacent there. But yeah, Mike will join us soon. He's doing a tasting downstairs, but we have got Kenny from Dram Mor with us tonight. So I'm sure loads of you know who Kenny is. He's probably one of the hardest working men in whiskey. He seems to never actually be in one place for longer than 5 minutes.
I know it. Mainly because folk want me to move on.
Right.
We've had enough McDonald to get out.
Escorted to the airport. But we're going to say hello to the guys that's on the chat, and then we'll hand over to Kenny. He can explain a little bit more who he is. So we've got some regulars on. We've got Dave Baxton. Nice to see you, Dave. I've got Dutch Jura. I've got Jeremy. I haven't seen you for a while. So let us know what's in your glass. Dutch Jura's got the North Star Campbellton Connection. Is that the one they did for the festival? The mixture of all the...
Yeah, I think it is.
Ah, that's cool. Okay. Let us know how that is. As you can see, I am not drinking tonight because I've literally just got here not long ago. We're doing an in-house tonight because Kenny is up the road doing a tasting for Mike and a barrel top. So if you're in the area, drop them past tomorrow and...
Yeah, tomorrow night we've got a tasting and I'll be down in the shop from about 1 till 4 or something on Saturday. So if you're in the area, feel free to pop over and have a wee dram.
Definitely do that. So I'm going to hand over to Kenny. He can explain who he is and what's in his glass as well, because he's got a really interesting little down in that glass.
I certainly can. So, Dutch Jura, I'll get back to that in a wee while, but I'm not ignoring it. Yeah, so as kindly said, I'm Kenny MacDonald. I am the lesser half of Dram Mor. The brains are down the road doing some real work. And the beauty. Well, thanks for that, Kat. Yeah, that's very true. Victoria, for those of you who have not met my wife Victoria, Kat says I'm the hardest working man. Well, she knocks spots off me. She'll be hard at work right now. I know she is. And if any of you have met her, you will know she's very much the organ grinder. You're talking to the performing monkey here, so that's the way we go. Drammore has now been bottling for 5.5 years as an independent bottler, but we've been in the game quite a bit longer. Going back to 2013, we started off as export agents. So working away through different clients like Aaron, like Spacey Distillers, Ian McLeod Distillers, Gordon MacPhail, numerous different folk, and we would open up new markets for them in different countries. And there were 1 or 2 independent bottlers who I had on the list that, between you and I, wasn't that impressed. And I very stupidly said to Victoria one night, you know what, we can do better than that. You never say that to Victoria. Because instantly we had to then start bottling. So 5.5 years bottling, we're now in 24 countries, so we've done not bad. And last year we started taking on our first staff members as well. So there's now a few of us. So it may well be that if you go into a show, it's no me that's there. It might be Big Chris Irons, ex of the Pot Still in Glasgow City Centre, who might be there. Or it might be Emma, who is a wonderful addition to the team as well. But yeah, so far so good. I've not been found out yet, so that's a good thing. And what is in my glass at the moment, I wish you could see the colour properly of this, because it's insanely pink. And it is one of my favourites over the last few years. It's an 11-year-old Dumbarton. Get 250 bottles out of it. It is coming in at 53%, and it has been finished in a Mati Toscana red wine Sangiovese cask, 3 months only. And it is sweet as sweet can be. Fruity. Cat just tried a wee sip and she went, some of my glass. Dutch Jura, no, I wasn't born in Dumbarton. I was born in a town called Helensburgh. I was meant to be born in Dumbarton, but there had been complications, apparently. And the only place that could handle it was a place called Brayholme in Helensburgh. So I got wheeled down the road. And funnily enough, I've come full circle. I grew up there and I moved back to my hometown about a year and a half ago. All the rest of the family, the whole family come from the Outer Hebrides, West Coast of Lewis, some from Skye. So very much that kind of strange Hebridean Clydeside mix. Hope that answers that.
Talking of Dumbarton, you've got your blend, is that what you're Dumbarton?
Certainly do. It's perched beautifully behind my head up there somewhere.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that came out 2 years ago now. It's done really, really well. So I have got a really strong personal affiliation with the town of Dumbarton. Not only was I meant to be born there, my grandfather was head foreman in Dumbarton Distillery for 33 years. He moved down from Skye. They all did, all the Hebridean crowd came down for work. So my grandmother and all her sisters would work in the big houses in Helensburgh and servants, cooks. Apart from Bet, who worked at Glamis Castle for the Queen Mother.
Oh, wow.
She was the Queen Mother's pastry chef.
That's amazing.
The food we used to have was phenomenal. I don't get that size for no reason. And yeah, when he retired, he moved back up to my grand's village in Lewis. I lived in Dumbarton for the last 15 years prior to my move down to back home. So it's a place that's got a special thing in my heart. And the name Dumbarton used to be very prolific in the whisky industry, and it's pretty much vanished. We've still got Chivas, Pernod Ricard, huge footprint in Dumbarton, but there's no visitor centre, there's nothing to let you know it's there. So I wanted to bring out a blended malt, and we brought out Dumbarton Rock. 5 single malt whiskies. Between you and I, none of them are Dumbarton. 4 Speyside and 1 Highland. Of the 5 whiskies, there are 4 bourbon and 1 massive big sherry bomb. 46% unchill filter. That's the difference. So that drinks like a single malt, even though it's a blended malt. And it's about £30. So it's a good deal.
It's not a lot. It's such a good jam. It does, I think, like, it does really well in the shop too. It's nice that people returning to blends now. I was thinking about teachers earlier to somebody I was spending the afternoon with, shout out if he's watching. And it's just nice to see old school blends having a resurgence, but teachers is really, really hard to find because it just goes for all times, so all times in here. And Brazil, and he hit the nail on the head because when it was here and available, and there were a lot of other people didn't want it.
Nobody wanted it, yeah.
Blends, massive rubbish. Now you can't get it. Everyone's like,
I wish I could have.
I wish I could get hold of that.
It's always the same.
And you just can't get it. It's like, hence these really hard to find teachers. It's nice to see actually blends coming out, like for prices that people want to drink and people are talking about as well. It's good to see a resurgence of them. You don't always want a single malt. Sometimes you just want to open up a cheap dram and just not think about it.
Well, one of the reasons we put this together, if I look at the change over the last 10 years in general, but the last 5 years specifically, the demographic of who drinks whiskey's changed completely. Yeah. If I go to any big whiskey festival, it used to just be old men with grey beards. It was, I was like looking in the mirror. Well, I was the young guy who didn't have a grey beard then. It took me a long time to become an old man with a grey beard. Well, thank you. I like it. I only have it so I can look like I'm thinking about things.
Yeah, so I'm at the age now where I do that because I'm finding like random hairs.
You've got a wee bit to go. You'll get there, Cat. Just keep baby bio.
See, though, when you get to the age of like nearly 40, you become like, when you're a kid and you put seeds into like an egg cup.
Right, Chris.
This is literally me now.
All right, I'm going to try it up here and see if I can get some of that back. But yeah, there's now so many young people engaged in drinking Scotch whisky. And the beauty is it's pretty much 50-50 young guys, young women, which is fantastic to see. But that generation are much, much more adventurous than mine. So yeah, they'll want a dram one day, fine. But the next day they might want a highball or an old fashioned or a whiskey sour or whatever. And that meant they would always go and buy really cheap quality whiskey. And that's just going to give you a really cheap quality highball. So I thought the idea of putting that together, it would give them something that was affordable enough they could play with it. But I've got an absolute rule, and if it's not good enough to drink in its own, it's not good enough to drink. End of. So with that, they can enjoy it as a dram on its own, but they can feel perfectly relaxed about throwing an egg white in it as well.
I think Andy should put egg.
Well, I would agree, but each to their own.
I know, so I didn't know what a whiskey sour was, even though I'm working with him.
Oh, it's Stuart, it's his hometown as well.
Okay.
You and me are going to have to talk, big man, if you're a borough boy. We need to talk.
That's very cool. So, yeah. Do you still live there? I'm assuming Dutch Jew. I don't know, where does the Dutch come from? And,
Where does the Jura come from?
well, exactly. You're an enigma. I didn't know.
He is an enigma.
And we've got Peathead on liquid. One of your ones.
On the non-exotic one.
I thought that I need glasses.
I know the one you're on.
Not really.
Still a cracker. I've got the more exotic one here tonight, which is the refill French oak Colorado sherry thing.
So liquid, we had Willie and Megan in last
Yeah, I saw that.
tasting, and we were talking about some of like the sort of powerhouse Diageo kind of
Packers.
Yeah, but you know they having have one core release, and you're like you're saying for Bargain actually, you potentially wouldn't go to it because of their one core release, but then you try them inside from an indie, and you're like, whoa, like where's this been all my life? Like
It's mental.
yeah.
And it's one of the things. So last week I was telling you I was in Belgium and we had five nights with 6 different whiskey clubs to do. 2 of them had to come together. And I was trying to explain about the whole kind of packer distillery thing. So if you look at something like Linkwood, it was never, no distillery was ever there to produce a core range. They were all there for going into blending, and it was an ingredient for blending. So nowadays, not just Diageo, but Pernod Ricard, Brown-Forman, they'll all have their packer distilleries. Some will bring up a core range, but for the Diageos, the only time we're going to see Linkwood, Mor, Blair Athol, all of these things, Flora and Fauna. It's the only time we're going to see them. And I was trying to explain it because there was a look of, oh, well, if they're just for blending, then obviously they're not as good as the stuff that is for single malt releases. I said, well, actually, it's kind of the opposite. If you're going to blend with something, you need real character, presence, profile about it. Otherwise, it's just it's nothing. And I love working with these. Love it.
I know I always say to people when they start, down that line of blending houses are it's like chefs. If you're making like something that's got loads of ingredients in it, I'm trying to think about like a stew, a fancy stew.
Yeah.
You're only going to use the best quality ingredients. They're not going to go to farm foods because there's a farm foods across the road, guys, and buy as much cheap shit as they can.
There is a farm foods across the road. I've just seen it.
So they're only going to look for the best whiskies to create, what they're it's something good quality. They're not going to just choose shit because everything's the end result. If you mix shit and shit, you're just going to get more shit.
Well, it's going back to if you're going to use a good whiskey to mix with, or if you're going to make that cocktail or mixed drink or tall drink or whatever with, I don't know, Aldi's own label, white label, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same. The better quality ingredient, the better the end result. So if you're using really, really good quality distillate in your blends, you're going to get a really good blend.
Yeah. Then we can make an release like kimchi.
Oh, not easy to find actually.
No, and we were speaking about it. We're like, actually, where else do you ever see that? And it's just because it's like predominantly just used for Johnny Walker.
That's exactly it. Yeah, it's one of the 4 corners.
But they've got like worm top condensers, like they've got like copper, like they must be producing.
Same as Ben Rennis.
Yeah,
Worm top.
Copper, like heavy, like characterful sort of, whiskey, like proper geeky whiskey.
Delightful stuff.
Yeah, that we don't really know about because they don't need to market because, it's kind of paying for itself by going into Johnny Walker.
Pretty much. And it's a crying shame when you look at the amount of incredibly good drams which do go into the blended market. I always think of myself when I look at casks like that, particular Linkwood, I'm incredibly lucky. I've saved it from going into the blending market, and people then have the opportunity to see what the distillery is really like. That's so important.
Yeah. I have so many distilleries out there. It's a little time. So, Dutch Stewart, just the nickname. I live in
Milton. It's in Milton. Oh, we're going to have to get together and get a dram one day, mate. For sure. Now that I'm home for a couple of months, I'm not away again till September. So, drop me a wee message. I'm not difficult to find.
So before we went live, I was love listening to your stories because you've got an insane life. Like, I want to write your memoir.
Don't, I'll be honest. I'll be writing for them.
So, like, every time I think I know you, you just like drop another bombshell of, well, when I was like a bouncer for like
27 years,
after like the artist formerly known as Prince. You've got some amazing stories. I can't remember where I was going with that. Where was I
I don't know, but you don't get a face like this after not having lived a life.
I know, but yeah. Oh, that's it. We're talking about like being a brand ambassador. And so many people think it's such a glamorous job.
Yeah.
I've seen it myself. Like, so people can apply to work at the distillery and like, what you're interested in. I went to a brand ambassador, I went to travel the world. And yeah, you do, but you were just saying just a minute ago before we went live, you pretty much just get stuck in airports and only see hotel rooms and kind of underground car parks and like you don't really get to see a lot of.
No, it's the least glamorous job in the world. There is something, when someone says how glamorous, and you've been stuck in a middle seat with two guys my size either side of you, and then the idiot in front of you puts their seat back. By the way, there's a special place in hell for anyone who reclines a seat on an airplane with someone behind you. Don't do it, okay?
So also, you're like, your head is in some of these like potential frauds. This is somebody that you've never met before. I mean, like, there's
well, sometimes that's all right. It just depends on the mood.
It depends on the plane.
That's a whole different thing.
How far away have we got to Inverurie? Yeah, 15 minutes in we got to Inverurie.
That's not bad. We did pretty well. That's as long as I've kept heading clean ever. And you started it, wasn't me?
I know, right? Maybe just bring it. I would say bring it.
See, you don't need that tan. Look at the colour you've got. That's great.
I know. So I was just saying, I literally match my outfit. I've been out in the sun all day and you wouldn't know it. I look like
the dress is starting to go brown. But Cask not.
Yeah, it's just like dirt. So we know about your days as or what you do now is Sony, but part of the reason I wanted to get you on is because you're always great at good company. But the other reason I wanted to get you on is because I'm sure most of you guys at home will watch the documentary that aired a couple of months ago now, isn't it?
Yeah, but 6 weeks, something like that. 6 weeks, 2 months, something like that.
Yeah, so it was because it was on a Thursday as well, actually, because we might watch it afterwards because it all kicked off straight after it was on. And it was the scamming.
Oh, the Hunting the Whiskey Bandits.
Yes.
Still available on iPlayer if you haven't seen it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll let you explain, but you were pretty much instrumental. So you've been you've been so outspoken over the years about regulations need to be in place. And
yeah.
I think you were probably one of the loudest and earliest voices about it. Tell me how you went from that to then being involved with this documentary that aired.
So incredibly fortunate when it comes to that. Yeah, I have been outspoken about it. The whole cask investment in whiskey is still an incredibly good thing to do. But you've got to make sure you do it with the right person. Otherwise, you're in a world of hate, as people are finding out. So I was very lucky where Sam Bowen, who's the journalist, Sam went to school, she was in the same class as my brother at school. I've known Sam since she was 5 years old. And I brought this up with Sam 2 or 3 years ago. But she was right in the middle of a really big documentary. It was an award-winning thing about, it was an unsolved murder. And she actually tracked the murderer down, and he's now in jail. Yeah. Suzanne Caldwell. I think it was the girl's name. very, very big case at the time. And the police just didn't manage to get it over the line. Sam did. She's a genius. Sam is phenomenal. So she'd far too much on, and it just fell by the wayside and vanished. And then out of the blue, she phoned me up. She went, "Are you available here in the country?" I went, "Well, I'm for a wee while, yeah. Could we meet up?" "Yeah, sure. I want to pick your brains." I thought, God, you're desperate. All right, okay. So we met up, and she went, "I want to do something on whiskey. I know nothing about whiskey." Well, okay. And we sat, a really, really good chat, and it was all about nailing these bastards who are just ripping folk off for a drink centre. And the minute she told me what it was about, I thought, I desperately want involved in that. Desperately. If I can help bring some of these scumballs down, I want in. So it was great. Both Sam and Liam, our producer, we worked on it for a good wee while back and forward, and giving them as much information. I actually gave them a few victims as well, who I know who have been stung in the past. So the Belgian boy who was on, is a friend of mine, who'd been stung. He owns Cask with me as well, but he only came to us after he'd been stung by somebody else, pretty much. And it was just an absolute joy to be able to help put it together a wee bit. Now, at the end of the day, she's the journalist. She's the one who actually goes out and confronts these scumballs. I don't have to do any of that. But it was very interesting to see that just it was 2 weeks or 3 weeks after that, Cask 88, Rayburn hit the wall.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, that's a surprise.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we've done just a wee bit to let people at least be aware of what's going on, don't ever think it's still not a good idea. It's a really good idea. I've helped clear my best friend's mortgage by using casks. It was a job he hated. He said, "Look, I can't leave this job until I finish paying my mortgage, then I can leave." I said, "Well, how much money have you got?" "You get money in savings." "Oh, I'm not using my savings." Like, no. Give me what you need to clear your mortgage, or give me X amount, and I'll give you back enough to clear your mortgage. I know where to sell these things. And I did that. My eldest son's just bought a flat, and he's got the flat off the war chest that he built with casks.
Wow.
So it's a good tool.
So do you think that's still the case now with, I think what we're calling this year in the whiskey industry, like the year of caution, the blip,
This is a buyer's market now, not a seller's.
Okay.
Because everybody has basically shot the bed.
Yeah.
They've all panicked, which is great, because it means that you can buy casks really, really cheap. So this is the time, if you're ever thinking of doing it, you do it now, because you'll get great prices.
So what's the best way of somebody going about? Can they employ you like an advisor?
Well, the way it will do, if they get in touch with us, all we'll do is two things: time frame, how long do you want to keep it? Secondly, what's your budget? Fine, and we work within those two parameters. What we will now do, because there used to be a thing called a WOGA. It was a warehouse keepers and keepers of warehouse goods regulation license.
Wow,
just rolls off the tongue. It's dead easy. And the idea was, if any private individual was allowed to own up to 5 casks, by the time you bought your 6th, HMRC is a commercially viable, profit-making company.
Okay.
So you needed a license. And you couldn't get it unless you were actually in the industry. So what we used to do for people who had more than 5 casks is we would just keep them in our account for them and we'd manage them. That's no longer necessary. So what we'll now do is get an account opened up in a private warehouse for everyone. So when they get their cask, Craigton for me is one of the best ones to use. It's got visitation rights. You can go in and cuddle your cask and kiss it and write your name on the end of it and all these things. So you know it's real.
So this is, so after the documentary aired, I think people started checking out paperwork and asking the questions that, the documentary advised. Check up, make sure it's legit, make sure your cask is genuine, like you own it.
Yeah.
And of course, like Cask 88 and Rayburn, went bust. like me at the distillery, I was inundated with emails from people saying,
Same.
I own a cask of Glengoyne, I own a cask of Dram Mor. Can you verify that you've got it? I'm like, well, no, because you haven't bought it from us. You bought it from a third party.
Correct.
We don't sell to the public, So a lot of people, it's just this lack of knowledge. They think I want a cask. I can walk into the store, I can go in. My name's written on the end of that cask.
Can I take it away, please?
Yeah, somewhere else, kind of like, oh yes, Jim Smith. That's your cask there. It's this massive lack of understanding.
Huge.
So some of that is, genuine, just honest naivety, and some of it is probably misinformation that they're given.
It's a bit of both, Kat.
Yeah.
It's a bit of both. I think there was a huge amount of hard sell from these guys as well. So one thing, anybody does that to you, just walk away straight away.
Yeah.
I'll just say, look, that's what I can do for you. These are the casks that I think are best for you. That's my rationale behind it. Entirely up to you. I'll not be contacting you at all. If you're happy, you contact me. But if not, absolutely fine, not a problem. And the idea, the reason I do it is because one day I want to buy them back from them. As an indie bottler, I would have loved £500,000 to run out and buy stock. I checked down the back of the couch, it wasn't there, I didn't have it, no. And I didn't want anyone investing in the business, because if they invest in the business, then I'm working for them and not for me. Just back to where I was and working for the man. But there was nothing to stop me letting them invest my stock. So that's what we did. And the Cask clan was born. So Drammore Cask clans now get clients from Japan to the States to Canada to South America, all around the world. And the idea being, it's their property, it's nothing to do with me. If they need help re-racking it or whatever they want to do with it, yeah, I'm more than happy, I'm here to help. And ideally, if it's something that is going to fit in with my bottling plan and they want to sell it, I'll go me. And I'll always give them market value for the cask, and I'll make my money when it goes to bottle. Everybody's happy. A victimless crime.
I do often wonder as well if people know what their end result is. They want to invest, but do they know then what they're going to do with the cask? Some people think they want to keep it until their kids turn 18. But then what? What?
Everybody thinks they're going to keep it for 10 years. Campbelltown, teaspoon, Glen fantastic. I know you should be. It's sitting there with a cup of coffee.
I know.
Tell you that. It's stunning. Just refill bourbon, Buffalo Trace. And everybody thinks, for some daft reason, 10 years. And they've just been led this thing through the Scotch Whisky Associations, the whisky industry, for the last 50 years has told every single person, if it's not at least 10 years, it's not ready. Nonsense. I've had some incredibly good, that's only 7 years old, and it's banging. I've had some great 3, 4, 5-year-old spirit and some utter muck at 40, 45, 50-year-old. It's drain cleaner, it's just wood. Just sour, bitter, horrible, acrid. But this 10-year figure has been battered into folks' heads for forever my day. And even when it comes to casks, 10 years.
Yeah.
Right, fine, okay, that's whatever. But the trouble is, folks' lives change. Nothing ever goes, no plan has ever gone in a straight line. Ever. You want to go there to there, you go that way, you go all over the bleeding place, but not where you thought you were going to. So, they'll come back to me 6 months later, life's getting in the way, Kenny. Can I sell that cask? Of course you can, it's your cask. Now, I can't guarantee that I'll get a buyer like that for them. I'll just do my very best for them. But 99 times out of 100, yeah, they've gone pretty.
I know, I think it's that mad panic people are going through just now as well, but I was reading an article about what to do, I think, if you have or thought you had a cask with 88.
Tiny something. I'm just teasing you here.
You are a little bit. That's your tease. Kenny MacDonald, the tease.
Never did anything look like this called the tease. No.
I think it was at Mark Blether wrote that people should contact the insolvency agency. Don't go directly to the distilleries because I won't be there. I think contact the insolvency agency and then.
It's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
I know I had a gentleman who will rename nameless. It's really good, isn't it?
Oh, you are, please.
I know, I'm a bad man. That was quite gentle, 52.9, 275 bottles. One Scotia teaspoon with Springbank. Yeah, so it called me up. And funnily enough, after the documentary, I got nobody calling me about, can I buy casks from you? It was, I've bought a cask from somebody else and I'm fitting it. So I then had a good few days of wading through different things, trying to help folk out, or at least point them in the right direction. So this poor lad phoned me up. He put £169,000 with Braver. And I thought, oh, Jesus, man. Okay. I said, look, first thing we're going to do, they hadn't gone belly up at this time. Let's get an account open for you. We'll get everything transferred. Now, the one thing with Braeburn, certainly in my experience, they would overcharge, but they didn't ghost cask people. The casks existed. It's not like Whiskey and Wealth and all that, which are sell one cask to 4 different folk or sell a cask that doesn't exist. So we opened up an account for him, all good. They're booked in to be moved to his account, and I got a phone call from the warehouse. Kenny, have you seen the news today? You've been online? I'm like, no. What's happened? Braeburn. I'm like, oh man. Now, fortunately, it's Cali Casks, Cask 88 warehouse is Cali Casks, just outside Craigellachie. We know a few folk. So working directly with the warehouse, we were able to try to start getting things transferred. It's going to take a long time, but it will be done. So he's not lost his money. But there will be folk who are not in that position and will lose it.
No, I was speaking to a guy I know who was invested with Braeburn into a cask of Ardmore. And he was telling me, like, he's like, oh, you know, so I was speaking to my advisor, my cask advisor, who was saying that Ardmore is really interesting. I'd be going to get pints now, so it's gone back to fighting and floor malt. And I'm like, well, they haven't. Plain Kiwi.
I was going to say, yeah, that's try again.
And so I was like, I thought, well, maybe that's a genuine mistake. I wasn't sure if it's like a case of like pushy sales help to tell them like information I think I know, or if it's a genuine mistake of like mixing up facts of 2 different distilleries. But I was like, you know, if I just been told that the cask I invested in and I'd just been bullshitted with a pile of different like wrong information, I would have got like a little bit of the fear, I think, potentially. And of course, now after the news, and he messaged their day-to-day, I don't know if I thought that's more or not. So yeah, it's all so horrible.
That is horrible. And the trouble is, you know, for those of you who have watched the documentary, you'll have seen like folk in the States who are they're broken. They've got nothing. Everything they had's gone. Every single one of us in the industry get the blame for that. All of us. Every time they hear the word Scotch whisky, they want to scream. So we all get tarred with that same brush, even though they're not. None of these guys are involved in the industry.
Like a lot of people in documentary, the scammers, they're all like from Essex.
Yeah, they're not Scottish. They're all from down south.
For like greasy used car salesmen.
That's exactly it. Dive John Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah, all day long. Want to buy a watch, mate?
Yeah, like you open up the
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
yeah.
I've got one client came to a wee while back, and he wanted to buy casks for his kids. Really nice boy. I said, well, same with everybody. If I can, I want to meet them face to face so that we actually get to know each other. If not, I'll do this way. You know, at least we can Zoom and all these things nowadays, so you can see the person that you're talking to. And he said to me, I don't know who it was, but he'd seen something on Facebook.
Oh, well, that's
Wow.
where you get
Whoa!
financial information from.
Well, like, no, you know how they advertise.
Yeah.
And he got in touch with them. And the boy was phoning them 3, 4, 5 times a day. You made your mind up, if you made your mind up, if you made your mind up. And eventually went, you know what, mate, no, I'm not going to do it. First reaction, interested in gold. I can get you gold.
Oh my god.
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
You can work your way all the way through. The boy would sell his granny's bones for soup if he thought he could get money out of them. Unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it's
just charlatans.
They are. Awkward.
But that's con men, you know.
It was such a good documentary. And you got, you were in it as well. You're 5 minutes of fame.
TV personality. Between that and with the new Water Life movie, came out the week before.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
That should be driving up with my limousine and my entourage.
I know. Well, I was on Japanese TV.
What game show?
The Gadget Castle. No, it was a lot of fun actually. We filmed at Ardmore. I put it up on my socials the other day. So it was like little shorts that we put on YouTube, and I wanted to highlight unknown distilleries in Japan, like less well-known ones.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to Kilbeggan, which is our Irish distillery, and then I went over to do Ardmore. So the whole day of filming just for like 2.5 minutes, but it was really well put together. But it was fucking freezing because it was like winter time.
Nice.
And they really wanted to get footage of the train going past. So the Ardmore is right on the railway line, which is why Ardmore exists, because
Victorian distillery time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So William Teacher was heading up from Glasgow with Speyside and sat on the train next to Everything Payne, who owns all the land in that area. And he got chatting. He said, "Don't go to the Speyside, I'll sell you land," and that's why we ended up with Ardmore where it is. So they really wanted to film the train going past. I literally had to spot reel. So we were like chatting away and doing all the filming and stuff, and like, the right guys, go, start running back to the railway line so they try and get footage. And then we had to do some filming in the warehouse. They were asking loads of set questions, but they just really wanted a shot of me taking a dram.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one bit that they couldn't get in one take. It's like, "Oh no, your hair's gonna make you move your hair, and can we take your high vis off, and can you do this, can you do it?" Got that time we actually got
This does not happen to me, and I'm upset. What I need to do is buy a wig, because this isn't working as far as, "Oh, Kenny, your hair's getting in the way." I do try. I've got more chance of that getting in the way than this.
Yeah, your beard's in the glass. Can you take it?
Exactly.
But no, it was really cute. So yeah, it's my 2 minutes of fame, but it was quite good.
It's always good fun.
It is.
It's always good fun.
Japanese people are so lovely because I was so cold, and the lady looking after me, she kept coming up in between takes, and she put my gloves back on for me. And she was like rubbing my arm. She's like,
I'm due to go. Hopefully, I'll go to plan. I'll be out there in December this year.
"Oh, amazing."
Which no, and that's a
It's our bucket list thing. I'd love to.
that's an exciting thing.
That'd be very, very cool. We're going to catch up with some chat. We've got BX Woodhouse on, and Jeremy, I think I ping you an email. Was thinking of trying to find a refill hobby from the. I put my glasses on. The waxy diluting period to sit on for say 15 to 20 years. That's very specific, Jeremy.
Good thing maybe I was thinking trying to argue periods. Say long time, Jeremy. It depends what you want to do with it. Is the honest answer. Personally, if you're going to run it that long, I would very much leave it in a second refill bourbon as long as you can, because what you're wanting that dilution just to do its work as far as the maturation and the softening. You don't want the interaction with the oak, because at that age, the oak is going to put down a massive footprint on it. And dilution's quite a delicate dram when it comes to the way it interacts with oak. You'll lose it quick style. So if it was me, I'd be leaving that. Say you wanted it at 15 years, I'd be leaving that for 14.5 years in a second refill bourbon. It's going to give you a beautiful blank sheet of paper. Kat and I were talking about this earlier on. You can then look at that and go, where do I want to take this? Do I want sherry? Do I want portwood? Do I want an accentuated bourbon? But after that time, you won't need it. Do I want to do this in red wine? It's entirely up to you. Cognac, Calvados, it's up to you. But if you put that into a cask that's got a bit of strength about it right now, but you've got nowhere to go other than where that cask wants to take you. So if you're going to lay down for that period of time, the vast majority of that period of time, second refill bourbon, incredible. If you get a really good hoggy as far as a re-rack goes, you'll turn that cask around in 3-4 months. So that's the way I would go on it. That's what I do with mine anyway.
Do you ever have to just say to somebody, no, that's not going to work? Like, do people come to you and say, "Oh, I think my whiskey's ready, but I really want to fit in like a mezcal cask
It's not my whiskey, so I can't say no. I can advise them that that's going to taste like dog meat. I hate agave casks. I just can't get my head around it. It's one of these things we waited so damn long for new casks.
Yeah.
And then a few years back, SWA said, "Oh, you're going to get 2 new casks." Oh, first one, tequila. I nearly cried. I went, oh, what? Why? Why?
I had a distinctive flavor.
Oh, it's mouthing. I can't go this stuff. Probably my own fault. It's a throwback to when I was about 19. But they balanced it off by giving us Calvados, which was great.
Yeah, no, Calvados are heavy, like a full-on flavor as well. Like it's not an easy influence.
Got to be gentle with it.
Yeah.
Got to be gentle with it because it's very powerful.
It is.
It's a wee bit like using, if you get a really strong cognac cask, dip in, out.
Yeah.
Because what you're wanting, you're not wanting that. Well, that's that Mate Toscana red wine. I do not want that to taste the red wine. I want it to have a kiss of what the best aspects of that wine is.
Yeah.
You don't want to lift something and go, oh, it's finished in Calvados. I hope it just tastes of apple.
And then you just go back and
Go by Calvados. I've said that so many times when it comes to these big sherry bombs. To the extent I've even got to do a disclaimer in masterclasses. Before I start, I always go, just before we start, anybody in here got a heart condition? You see folk going, what? Hey, what? No. What, we're going to bungee jump? You'll find out. And I get to the bit where we're talking about casks. And I'll always say, you know, that way where you get this huge, big, heavy sherry bomb, and all you taste is sherry. But it's not all you taste. All you taste is, and at the top of my voice, sherry! I had that perfect example of what can happen with that in Nuremberg 2 years ago in Germany. The biggest international festival of the year, 18,000 people.
wow.
Peter, a guy I know really well, sitting at the back of my masterclass. I can only hold 26 folk in the masterclass. I've got 34 people in the masterclass. Folks sitting on the floor cross-legged like at school. What's this? And at the back, slap bang in the middle, Peter is doing what we're all told at school not to do, leaning back on his chair on 2 legs. I screamed out, "Yay!" His whiskey went up in my ear, his head hit the wall. As his head hit the wall and he jerked, the back legs of his chair buckled and he slid very slowly down out of sight.
Oh.
I just thought, my work here is done. If I was using a microphone, I'd have dropped it and walked away. Got to be gentle. Look.
No, I definitely, I think a lot of people are still under the illusion the longer you hit into the wood, the better it's just going to get. But it's not always the case.
No.
Especially because the principle on also got, you know, by the end of that, chances are, yeah, all your taste is sherry and wood.
That's it. It's just wood.
Could be any liquid in there, to be honest.
It's rubbish. But that's certainly the way I would go. What else have we got? Dave, I think, will we have the Glengarry tomorrow?
Well, I'd like to hope so. So Dave
Not sure.
has got a better Glengarry collection than I do, I think.
Let me have a wee check, Dave.
Some fab Glengarry. So I've been hearing how good this Madeira Glengarry is, but I haven't tried it. So I'm just going to keep dropping off hints until Kenny appears in the bottle.
Yes,
I
boss.
think we're on like hint number, what, 4 or 5?
It's no, we don't have it on the lineup tomorrow, mate. I do have one that's not on the list at the moment, which is a quarter cask Blether, which is Pedro Jimenez, but again gentle, and it is. But if you're desperate for the Glengarry, if you've got a Glengarry collection, and it's the sort of thing you want, again, drop me a wee message. I'll do the groundwork. I'll have a look around and see what I can find for you, because I know pretty sure it's sold out in the warehouse. But there's ways and means. I'll find you one.
Oh, you sell. Well, I wish I just got one at your table. It's Bayside. They're literally next to you. It's Bayside.
You had the chance.
I know, I had the chance and I didn't. But
Did you not notice everybody else was buying it? And you didn't bother your backside?
I was working.
Ah, way chase yourself.
I wasn't. I was just fanning about, to be honest.
And now that I noticed.
But no, I'm kicking myself because I don't think I've ever had like tea in Madeira before, to be honest.
It was a treat.
Yeah. Oh no, I was thinking about my Davidson one. That was a Thai one. I don't think I've ever had it in Madeira.
No, it just works so well. All it's really dragged out is the fruitiness.
Yeah. So we're such a fruity whiskey, and somebody described it as 10 peaches.
Yeah.
And even more so now because we've extended our fermentation. And going back to dry fighting stuff, so it's like really pulling out all the esters. It's like insanely fruity whiskey. So yeah, it's been fun trying it with you. Dave, if you get a bottle, I'm coming around here and with an empty glass. So Dave's going to come to the tasting tomorrow, which is really cool. Dave comes to quite a lot of the in-house tastings here at the shop. Who else have we got?
Ginger's just vanishing off screen there. Do you know, genuinely, now, the Benrinnes, was that the Ransio Sec that you had? The Benrinnes, I've done a few Benrinnesses. I've done a few 12-year-old Benrinnesses. It's a distillery I love. You know, Kat mentioned earlier on about this worm tub condensation thing. So for those of you who are not 100% sure what worm tub is, huge big vat of ice water, massive big copper cod. Pretty much. You know the way you see on like cartoons where they've got wee still and they've got a big springy thing. That's that in an ice water on a massive scale, that's a worm tub. But the beauty of that is it condenses the vapor really, really slowly. The shell and tube condenser, like that, from vapor to liquid, bang. This has got so much more copper contact time. And that gives us that buttery, creamier.
It does. It gives you a bit more of a funky, heavy note as well.
Yeah, much better.
Yeah, you've got a lot of copper contact, but you're condensing really quickly as well. So you're kind of keeping your heavier. Yeah,
you condense quick the minute it hits the cold water, but you've got much more copper contact time as it comes down.
Yeah, so you're getting like your old school funky notes come through with a worm tub, which is very, very cool. And not that common. Most people have.
Everybody used to have them and they were up about.
Yeah. And that's one of the good things about Diageo is they can protect things like wooden wash bags, worm tubs, because they don't want to lose the character.
Do you know, genuinely they get a really bad name for themselves. You know, I think people look at Diageo as the evil empire. Diageo have been fantastic, maybe.
They probably saved a lot of distilleries that might not.
Huge, they would be here. They probably saved an industry that might not have been here anymore in all fairness, Kat.
Yeah, and you know, most distilleries have probably changed hands through DCL into then what like became Diageo at some point.
Yeah.
Including Glengoyne.
Everyone's had their turn.
Yeah, all of us been poured around through Diageo.
Old Scud book, passed around, every single one.
We are all a notch with Diageo in bed. But we don't mind. They all came out unscathed.
Well, wouldn't say as bad as that. But yeah, if that was the Ransio Sec, that was one of the most interesting whiskies I've ever bottled. So we were the first whiskey company ever to use Ransio Sec wine to mature a whiskey.
So what is that? Where's that from?
Ransio Sec is the oldest form of wine production in Europe. Okay. It's what the Romans drank. It's only now on the French-Catalan border. It's a wee enclave there. It's about 24 villages that still make it. And it's a bit like if the French made sherry. It would be that kind of thing, but they make it in a very different way. Early season grape, crush the grape, they leave it out for wild yeast to start fermentation. Once fermentation starts, they cover it, drag it into a shed or a barn, leave it there from the very early spring all the way through to the very hottest part of the summer. Very hottest part of the summer, they fill the wine into big glass demijohns and leave them lying all over the field. And the wine suffers thermal shock for the heat of the sun, kills the yeast, and you've now got Ransio Sec. Now, I've tried it. Is that the wine that I would stretch for? Hell no. But it shares a lot of what you might find in Fino or Amontillado sherries. And I thought, right, okay, well, we Google at it. Went, no one's ever done this. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. What the hell? We'll give it a bash. Incredible.
You were the first people to.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a Benrinnes you popped there.
Like that
kind of heavy, funky Benrinnes people as well.
It needed the weight. It needed the spirit with weight because it is. It's a very demanding cask. And the weird thing is, Kat, seeing that first sip, sweet as sweet can be, and it vanishes like that. And it goes into this really umami, mushroomy note. It's almost like savoury meats. You're like, what the hell is this? And yet it's delightful.
Yeah.
It's like barbecued ribs, but without some sugary glaze over it. And I loved watching folk try it. Because it was that. And that was the thing. You can go anywhere in this massive festival. You're not going to try it like that ever again.
I love that smell though, because when news gets around that there's something really interesting at a table, it starts to spread, and then you just see the sort of numbers going from 2 deep to 3 deep to 4 deep. And
What's going on over there?
Yeah, is Madonna here? Like, what have they got? So yeah, that's a lot of fun.
No, Kenny got his wig. That's why they're all there.
It's just Kenny. Got
It's just Kenny, yeah. Told you, TV personality.
Exactly, yeah, they all want their chest signed by Kenny MacDonald.
Yeah, I'd love some women to come up instead, because it's horrible. 70-year-old man with a hairy chest.
Touch with
Hey, shine this. Oh, Jesus, man, please.
No, that's really cool actually. So is wine an interest of yours, or are you always just on the lookout for like...
No, I love wine. I've done all my WSC belt. I'm halfway through all my WSCTs.
Oh, actually.
I got to 2. Victoria's done 3, but that's almost getting similar level. And it just burst my head.
Yeah.
I used to really like it, but I didn't know why. Now I really like it, and I know why.
So this is my thing. I really like wine, and I know the ones I like.
I'll get you some good wine.
Okay.
Right away.
Right. I really like sort of dry oaky ones.
Oh, definitely.
So like,
I'll tell you off screen before I get inundated.
Give us your wine suggestion. Oh, right. Late arrival. Good afternoon, San Francisco. So Rick is a regular, and he was down at the. Rick literally flew in with his wonderful wife, Catherine, great name, to come to the premiere of the film, at least.
Oh, well, I should have been there, but I was in Malmo.
Oh, okay.
I was in Malmo at the time. It was our first ever Swedish Whisky Festival,
Oh, cool.
so I couldn't not be there. So Big Chris and Emma went and looked after us that day instead.
I've seen them run and stall, but I don't think I went forward.
I would loved to have been there. I heard it was a great day. It sounded fantastic.
It was so good to see. Me and Mike went along. We literally didn't even make it around the whole room. It was one of those things like, oh my god, hi, oh my god.
I saw the pictures.
Yeah.
It looked good.
It did.
It looked good.
And it's maybe happening next year too. So.
Yeah, well, I've just got to see what it's going to clash with next year.
I know this is the thing, isn't it? They all just start arriving.
There are, every single weekend of life, there are 4 whisky festivals, and 2 of which I have to be at.
So there are certain ones that you just know I have to go to, or do you try and like branch out into ones you've never been before?
I love to go to ones I've never been before, but I've got to then look at it from, I really want to go to that one because it's incredibly good fun, and I love the folk who go to it, and that's the most commercial one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make more money going there. And sadly, I've got to go to that one because it's a small business. I've got to make money. Yeah. And now I've got the responsibility of having a few wages to pay as well. So I've got to get the big boy trousers on and go, right, I'll go to that one, even though I want to be at that one.
Yeah. The
more Chris comes on board, and he's only going to be doing it kind of bits and pieces at the moment, but he's got 6 years experience as a bar manager in the pot still. He knows his stuff. Yeah. And he's a brilliant, big, amiable lad. He's great with folk. Whisky knowledge is phenomenal.
Yeah, so I've noticed it actually. A lot of good bar managers or whiskey bar staff, their knowledge is insane. Like just taking to Ross Bar, and I don't want to bring up too much just keep watching it. He won't be, because he literally just ripped off the Blether and now does his own thing.
Swine.
But his knowledge is insane, and he can just pick out fantastic brands and have like so much chat about them. Will you be at Lomond and Klein?
Nah, carnage. I didn't go last year because I was somewhere else. I think it was in Germany at the time. But I heard horror stories of just folk falling about like dafties.
Really?
Yeah. One of the big problems for me as a really small independent bottler You know, if I look at any bottle, 250 bottles in the world of that. Now, if I do a festival abroad, my distributor's already paid for that. It's his to pour away. But if you go to any international festival, every single dram is paid for. The punters pay for their drams. If I do a whisky festival in Scotland, I'm pouring that away for nothing. Now, if I can sell direct from the stand at a show, it's worth it. I mean, that Dumbarton show was insane.
Yeah,
92 bottles we sold.
wow.
So, yeah, I'm happy to pour stuff away for nothing if I know I'm going to get sales. If that festival's got a wee festival shop way in the distance somewhere, people are that bloated by the time they get there. They only remember the last 2 places they've been. And it might be stuff they didn't want to buy. I've done it, I've tried it. And literally, you know, I'll go from a tiny wee festival in Dumbarton Town Hall, where with 3 very short sessions, I sold 92 bottles, to exactly the same time at a festival like Salomon and Clyde, and I might sell 2 bottles. We've got to change the attitude to whisky festivals in Scotland. And it's our fault. It's not the customer's fault, it's our fault. Because what we've done is culture an open bar. Free bar.
Yeah.
I've spent £50 or £40 on a ticket. I'm going to drink £400 worth of whiskey.
And then have at least 2 at every single table.
Exactly. And you get them coming up. First question, what's your oldest?
Yeah.
Second question, what's your most expensive?
Yeah.
That means you've absolutely no interest in what I've got on the table. You're just here to rip me off and bugger off. No for me. No for me. Fringe, exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. Shows that you can sell direct. Bizarrely, I did one last year, which was phenomenal, which was the Stonehouse Whisky Festival.
I've heard of it.
Tiny wee place. Tiny, tiny wee place. A Masonic hall just outside Lark Hall. I'm like, I'm going to burst into flames walking through the door here. I'm a diehard St. fan. I'm not allowed in here. The day was phenomenal. So well organised. We made a lot of money. And the guys had said, right, so here's the sessions. We've got 120 in the first session and 170 in the second session. I went, holy Christ, I've done bigger master classes than that. Is that it? Ah, right, okay, we'll just get it done. Oh, it was a marvellous day. So that was the first one I put my name down again for this year.
Yeah.
Now, they're allowing me to sell direct. So if I can do that, I'll be at as many domestic festivals as I can. But if all I'm doing is turning up to pour whiskey away for nobody, yeah, I'm not doing that.
I'm thinking a bottle.
Stevie, you're a Dunfermline athletic man. Black and white, son. Black and white. I'm with you. That's okay. That's all
I
right.
can't do football chat because I'm going to be tapping out right now. Like, I know there's a ball involved.
Hey, I'm a St. fan. I don't know anything about football either.
We talk about rugby, but no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking like a bottle of the table for a festival because people like that one because it's most expensive. They just keep coming back and just coming back and like, no, that was the table.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. You just want it cheaper, it's most value for like.
And the one thing I never ever see at international festivals are people falling about stociously drunk.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get it.
I know, it's always like when the second session comes in, like first, like the morning group usually quite fine because you know they're not going on the baby, and then you have your lunch, and then you're like, ugh. And then they all like the second session comes in, they all get the pub all morning, you're like, oh, here they come.
Try fresh when you get the third session. So they've not only been, they've up early, they've had a nice, good, probably a good breakfast because they know they're in for a day. Then they've gone to whichever distillery day it is and had a whale of a time at the distillery. This year round, I think it was Lafroig's.
All right.
So they could literally from Port Ellen walk up to Lafroig, walk back down, and then into the pub. Good few jars. We've got another 2 hours. Good few jars. Then they come into session 3. Where am I? Who am I? What am I?
Oh, yeah.
We need to change the way we do things. And it would see a reduction in the amount of folk who would come to whisky festivals in Scotland. It would see a reduction in whisky festivals in Scotland. But what you would do is you would get a lot more people actually coming out to represent their brands. So you get a much, much better choice. And you would get the right people coming out to festivals. This is not a free bar. This is for you to extend your knowledge, your whisky journey that little bit more and go, right, I never knew I like that, but now I get a chance to speak to this guy and now I understand.
No, 100%. I love that. Like going to just find like a new face, new kind of bottle, like discover more about a distillery you've never actually tried whiskey from before.
That's exactly it. You know, it's like I went to Whisky Stramash one year for Ian McLeod's because before starting bottling, I was freelance with them for nearly 9 years, but they were a client. And I remember the day, so one of the sales directors, he's now moved on, wonderful guy called Stuart Thompson, sat down one day with me. And his exact words were, how do you fancy travelling the world drinking whiskey with interesting people and I'll pay you for it?
Sign me up.
But I just burst out laughing. I'm like, sorry, what? I said, say that again. And they did. They went, let me think about that. Yes. I wasn't thinking for long. And that was the beauty. And it's one of the reasons why maybe you don't see so much Dram Mor domestically. But you go to mainland Europe, you'll see it all over the place. Because I've got to know every European retailer, importer, event organiser, whisky club, all of them. So when that came out, even though 100%, that's Victoria, that's all her work. Everyone's, oh, that's Kenny's whisky. It's a bit like when Mark Watt launched his. Oh, it's Mark's whisky.
Yeah.
You know, and because they know who you are, there's a personality behind it. It goes like that.
Yeah.
But I've never, ever really done any work over here. Nobody has a clue who I am over here.
Well, I think I know now.
You know now. Please don't ask for the autographs on the hairy chest. I can't be.
Will we see you at Newcastle again? Okay.
I want to be in Newcastle. There might be a clash. I don't know, is the honest answer. I think it clashes with something else that I've got to be at.
National Whisky Festival Aberdeen currently on a clash situation, but that won't be no problem.
No, it's an international one. We will be there, but it might not be me. I don't know. Is the honest answer, Ian? I don't know. I'm trying to find ways around it because I really, really enjoyed that last year. I thought it was a great show. I know they've got a new venue this year, which is in Newcastle itself rather than. Although I liked the last venue because it was a brewery.
Oh, nice.
And if you can't organise a piss up in a brewery, you're in trouble. A piss up was had, that's for sure. I think I was meant to be working, but a piss up was had. I loved that show. I was really impressed with it.
It's Carl that organised.
Yeah, Carol, yeah.
Because he invited me down last year and I couldn't make it. And I was like, I'm not that person that if people invite me somewhere, I think they're polite and I say, well, thank you. And then I just don't go. This year, it's my 40th year and my divorce year. So literally, if you invite me somewhere, I'm just going to go.
Good on you, Devil.
And you come around and look at my garage, like, yeah, all right, let's set the date in motion.
She'll turn up for the opening of a tin of beans. Aye.
I know, so I quite like going to Newcastle because I just hear really good things about it.
It's great, and it's just independent bottlers. That's the whole point of it. It's an independent bottler show.
Yeah.
Was there an earthquake or did we move? What happened?
You moved your, so it's a motion sensor camera, so you pointed at me, so you just turned the camera. So I think what you might say if I just give you power back.
Actually, you know what? It's fine with it. It's, the least you see me, the better, to be fair.
We could just shuffle around the table.
I'm fine with it. It's centre of attention. You're the star here.
No, Mike has problems with this all the time. So I was quite impressed to have to move, but I just saw it shift when you moved your arm there. Oh, I don't know how to get that to go back, but fine, we'll work with it. And somebody asked where Mike was. He is just downstairs doing a tasting, but he's going to try and join us when he can. He's had a little bit of a clash on diaries.
A busy boy.
Yeah.
Well, technically, he knew I was coming, so he organised something else and buggered off.
Yeah, I think he should be too long actually, but obviously he wants to, he's not going to rush people out the door, so he's probably going to make sure they get their money's worth. Can you put your hand up? Yeah, so I think Dave is Jesse, put your hand up, and that's going to draw the camera back again. Because I think, yeah, Dave's been part of this where,
Nah, it's not working.
you know, the camera's just a little pervert, because they usually just follow people with the camera. So I don't know whether Mike's got settings on it or whether it's just the camera or, but
Hello.
it's quite voyeuristic.
No, it just fancies cat.
It's because it heard out on a TV in Japan, so you know, it's like dealing with it.
Who makes it? It's not a Japanese brand, so
It's got loyalty. What's Ritzing? So this is a great perspective on festivals for someone on the food side tables. A great thing about the Independent Spirits Festival was the tight bulk heavy.
I totally agree. Yeah,
Yeah, more talk, less drums. You're right.
I think it's very similar to what we had last year in Newcastle. So it was exactly the same model, Rick. So it was just indies, and it attracts a completely different crowd because it's an inquisitive crowd. It's a crowd who really want to understand. They want to spend time talking to you. And I love that. I don't want a show where I'm, you know, as you were saying, Kat, 4 or 5 deep, and literally all you're doing is boring. Just doing that, blah, 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 blah. You're trying to tell a story, nobody cares. They don't care. As soon as they've done their glass, they're buggered off, they're away. I want to spend time with somebody. I want to say, look, here's why I do what I do. Here's why I do it the way I do it. And see by the time they're finished and they know the background, the story, the everything about it, they get so much more out of the drama. And that's when you get them coming back and coming back and coming back, bringing friends, telling folk to come and see you. These smaller shows, and I think, you know, what Dave Stark and Big Greg put together was fantastic. And I wish I had been there. I really do. And we'll have a wee look and see what we can do next year. I might have to send Chris abroad and me stay at home. It's not a bad thing. I'm sick of plate food.
I think Dufton's looked like that though. I noticed. That's the first time I've done the little.
But I'm saying the first time I was in Dufton.
Yeah, and there was just like people were doing the rounds and then coming back. You know, they were actually making informed choices.
But you know why? Massively international crowd.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, it was. Yeah, there wasn't a lot.
Very, very few Scots.
Yeah, you're right.
Scots will come in and start at the first table and binge their way all the way around.
Yeah.
And it's a culture that, you know, the part of the whiskey industry is not just putting good liquid in a bottle. It's education. It's teaching people to respect it, to enjoy it, but enjoy it in the right way. And that's where I think all this free pour at every festival thing is great for the punter at the time until he breaks his nose falling down the stairs or whatever. I saw a guy at Whiskey Stramash walking downstairs on his head.
Oh my gosh.
You know, and the thing was, he was that drunk. He just stood up at the end of it and walked away.
Yeah.
You're like, this is a disgrace. This isn't on.
I think it was at Dufton. I was still talking to Andrew from Little Brown Dog, and I got him over. And he was a Scottish guy actually. And he was I'm here to pick up my bottle. And he's like, not for me. He's like, no, I'm here to pick up my bottle. And he's like, all right, which one? And he's literally going through his banking app. He's like, you look for it. I'm like, I'm not looking at your bank.
Not looking at your banking app. No. That's rude.
I was like, it's definitely got a bottle here somewhere. And yeah, no, that's, you haven't got anything for me, pal. You're gonna have to go in. And he was so drunk that he didn't know what he bought, where he left it, like what he'd spent.
Which is ridiculous.
It is.
You don't. We've got to try to present whiskey as something which should be looked up at, to be respected, to be something that these communities are lucky to have around them. Now, if I'm in Dufton, and Dufton was actually very well behaved. Let's go back to my own hometown. Let's go back to Helensburgh. If I'm in Helensburgh and the Lomond and Clyde show comes out and there are folk throwing up in closes, and there are folk peeing up against cars, and there are folk comatose in the middle of the street, that does not give whiskey a good reputation at all. And again, back to what we talked about with the scammers, we get the blame, not the punter. We get the blame.
Yeah.
Oh, look at what they did to that poor boy. I wasn't sitting with a funnel pouring it down his neck. This is not force feeding. But if we change the way that we do things, then it changes the perspective of what whiskey is. It changes the educational track of where we want to take it. And then what I want to see, especially when you're dealing with single cask strength whiskey, I want people who are drinking less but better, rather than whatever they can afford, or oh, it's all right, don't get me wrong, I've been a greedy sod at a free bar as well. I'm not going to pretend that I'm any saint here. But it's just that it doesn't work. It's got to stop.
Do you see a difference with, because you were talking about how younger people are drinking differently. So is it sort of an older generation that's still doing that sort of rally about drink everything, and the younger ones are maybe a little bit more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Younger generation do not drink anywhere near my generation, what they did.
They're certainly not buying as much either. I think it's finalized, you know, like.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It might not be fine if you're the agent.
Yeah.
But when you're me, I'm fine with that. They're much more educated. They want to know the efficacy behind what they're drinking and what they're eating.
Yeah.
What's the carbon footprint?
Yeah.
But there's a whole load of different areas that they want to tick the box. Right, okay, I'll support that brand. Okay, that's a good brand. Can you recycle and you do this and you do that? And that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
You know, I'm fine with that. But I do see them being much more selective over what they want to try. They're not, right. If anyone sees me at an international show, or even at a show over here, you will see my table looks like it's due to collapse. I like to have a lot of choice.
A lot of stuff on your table.
A lot of choice. My job as an independent bottler is to make sure when you come up to the table, there is something on that table that's just spot on for you. Now, if I've got 6 SKU on the table, I can't do that. If I've got 26 SKU on the table, I can pretty much do it. And all I've got to do is listen to the customer. It's one of the things when we started this, we only started taking a wage about 2 years ago. So Vic and I were both doing different jobs as well as this. I was still working in the doors, even at my age. And I did a lot of training for bar staff. So I worked with Tenants Training Academy in Glasgow. Every member of our staff that I've trained, I'd say to them, the most important thing, folks, I look around the room, how many of you listen to your customers? Well, put your hands down. No, you don't. You hear your customers. You don't listen to them. See, if you listen to your customers, you'll be able to pinpoint exactly the right thing for them. You get an American guest coming in. I want to try something I can't get at home. What kind of flavours do you like? Here are the flavours I like. Right, okay. And you bring 2 or 3 samples down. Try these. Oh, it's like you're inside my mind. Yeah, because we're not used to having people listen. They just give you in and bugger off, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's what we've got to do with this, is get folk come and ask the questions. The more questions they ask, the more I can deliver.
Yeah.
You get that steamer coming up going, he's in, big man.
Yeah, we got that McCollin. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're right. We were thinking about this before we went live as well, just the different drinking habits in different countries as well. It's like, you know, there's
Massive.
and different sort of preferences, you know. Some people still it's all about the big heavy sherries, and you know, no matter what you can table, everyone likes the darkest one. That happens here in Scotland as well, of course. But yeah, it was interesting to hear about the kind of what's popular in different places. And also interesting to hear that the festivals are so different as well.
Massively different.
Because you see, like, sort of the German one, for example, or you see pictures online, it's just hundreds of people queued up before it's open.
I'll walk past. I was in Limburg about 2 months ago. And you're looking, and we're going in at 9 o'clock in the morning of a Sunday morning, opening at 10. And you pass this queue, which goes on as far as the eye can see. And it's a beautiful day. They're all having a laugh. Everybody's good natured. course, we're walking through and it's mental. It's like you're the rock stars of the, well, oh my God. Then it's me and it's umpteen other guys from the industry walking through. And they're like, morning, folks, how are we? Hey! Because they know, right, we're nearly there. The door's open. No, if you need a whiskey at 10 o'clock in the morning, have a word with yourself. Honest to God. A whiskey at 10 o'clock in the morning is okay, providing you still to go to bed. Don't get up in the morning for a whiskey at 10 o'clock in the morning. That's the wrong way to do it. But everybody's so enthusiastic. They've got an incredible love of Scotland, which I'll never quite understand. Because Scottish people don't have that big a love of Scotland.
I know it's that, but I think that's the case of everywhere. Like if you're born somewhere, you maybe don't appreciate it. You don't see it to same eyes again. So like I'm back up Tamdhu, for example. I lived away from here for over 10 years. Growing up here, you take it for granted. You move back, like you can't get moved to either castles, standing stones, or distilleries. Like,
And drinkable water.
and beautiful water. Yeah. So sometimes.
And shit weather and midges.
Well.
And bizarrely, the Germans and the French and the Dutch and the Belgians don't really care about that.
No, they don't at all. Yeah, I mean, like football is here at distillery, so many Dutch people, so many Germans, a lot of French as well, and a lot of it in cruise ships. And like, I find that insane. Like, I can finally afford a cruise. We're like, oh, Aberdeen. I'm like, are you sure? Do you want to think again?
I'll be honest, I'd be spinning the bottle again. I'm like, nah, that's not going to do it for me.
But then, they hop on a coach and they go to Stonehaven, the Dunbarton Castle, which is insane. It's like
That's beautiful.
Beautiful castle.
Well, that was the base for Dracula's Cask.
That was
it not?
Slain.
Oh, it's Slain, sorry. I'm sorry.
But still awesome,
Yeah.
awesome castle as well. And you've got these beautiful pink castles that look like, they're
Stately homes, that fairy tale princess.
Yeah, with these like beautiful gardens.
Yeah.
And you can pop over to the distillery and then you can go and hold your standing stone and run off with a good-looking redhead man or could just be TV, I don't know.
See the main stone in Outlander?
Yeah.
That is the main standing stone from Callanish and Lewis. Yeah, they took a mould of it. They copied it, yeah.
That's really cool.
Thousands of years older than Stonehenge, Callanish.
I know, it's insane actually when you look.
And none of the stone comes from Lewis.
Really?
None of it. Stone in Lewis is called Nice, and Nice is one of the hardest and oldest stones in the world. And none of the standing stones are made of Nice.
Where the hell did it come from then?
Nobody
It's
knows.
like
Sorry, we've gone off track. Just bear with us,
Anybody that watches the Blether on a regular basis knows that we go off track. Because it's got a way up in Orkney like that, isn't it? Like older than like the pyramids.
Oh, yeah, much.
And the way it's been built so that during solstice, the sun will shine directly.
Everything's to do, same with Callanish.
Yeah.
Callanish is a massive calendar.
Yeah, it's like the stone circles are right here. They're all lined in a way.
Yeah.
It's like half a vegan here.
Yeah.
And then Christianity came along and said, well, actually, that's to do with God. It's not to do with your.
It's nothing to do with trees growing and suns rising. And
that was God. They were the saint.
Aye.
Yeah.
And you give the church their due, they were the ones that really started encouraging this stuff. So they had a use at some stage.
Yeah. And it was mainly women that made it. And then they just
Certainly was that.
turned them.
Yeah, well, obviously that is witchcraft. That genuinely is witchcraft.
It's alchemy. So the first
It's alchemy.
So yeah, we're producing like perfume things for like bailiffs.
If you look all the way back to, like if you see a Lafroig that's an independent bottlers, you may see the name Williamson. Well, that's Bentley. Every single distillery, the vast majority, it was all women who were the blenders.
It was because they're all making just sort of.
Well, you've got much better sense of smell and taste than I've got.
Yeah, so it's meant
It's just
to,
a biological thing.
It is, and again, it's to do with being responsible for. It was microbials. And I wonder if it came from.
It's a Stone Age throwback. It's when you're hunter-gatherers.
Yeah.
Man, the hunter would go out in packs, and the women were all left to look after the kids and the tribe.
Yeah.
And as I can smell trouble, but they literally could, because their sense of smell was so accurate. If there was a saber-toothed tiger or something, they could smell it approaching, and they could take action. We were much more rudimentally, whoa, and that was it. And we still are, oh, whiskey, oh. Whereas women can dissect a glass of whiskey. I had a brilliant experience in Schwerzingen in Germany, Whiskey Spring, one of my favourite shows of the year. I didn't get a chance to do an international show, go to Schwerzingen. It's in Schloss. It's in Schloss Schwerzingen, which I thought would be like where Eagles there. No, it's like a mini Versailles. It is stunning. And we get to take it over for 3 days. Now, this was just after COVID, so we were actually holding it later in the year, outdoors. My husband and wife came up. Before I'm doing this, still with Glengoyne. And they told me their flavours. I'm like, right, okay, so I'm going to show you 2 different whiskies. I'm going to show you a Glengoyne 18-year-old, and I'm going to show you the Glengoyne Cask Strength. The badly behaved child of Glengoyne. Fine. So I explained this one is 46%, it's blah, blah, blah. This one is 59%. And the guy said to me, so this one is for ladies and this one is for men. Like, okay, let's just see how that one goes. And I went, now, oddly, normally you'd start with the young one. I'm going to start with the 18-year-old. And I pulled the 18-year-old, and it's got a beautiful kind of rosy red apple sweetness to it. Both loved it. Great. Okay, let's go more punk rock. And I poured the Cask Strength. And honestly, the guys, this smells very good. I'm very looking forward to this.
Like your German accent. It's quite good.
It's very strong. And you can see the tears coming down his face. And his wife's now got the glass, and she's going, I like this very much. This is very, very, very different from the 18. I'm like, oh yeah, very different. The guy's still crying. And I said, so which one's for men and which one's for ladies? I'm like, get back in your box, you clown.
Yeah, we do still see it. We get asked it quite a bit as well. I think it's maybe more of a European expression, but like which one's a lady whiskey? And I think we kind of mean like a softer, or anybody that doesn't like
soft, sweet, fruity.
Yeah. I mean, I see what I mean. And if English is a second language, I'm not going to take offense at it, but yeah, it's definitely like
it goes, I think ever since Jim Murray showed everybody who Jim Murray was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even way before that, whiskey's not made for 50% of the populace, it's made for 100% of the populace. It's made by men and women. It doesn't belong to, this is not the bastion of chauvinism. This is for every single person to enjoy. And you know what? Every single person's not going to enjoy it. There's nothing in the world that appeals to everybody. But I don't give a damn whether they're male, female, or in between. It's not important. Do they enjoy that? Is it something that's worked for them? That's all that matters. Yeah. Are they walking away with a smile on their face? Great, magic, happy days. And we need to distance ourselves so much from the, is that a woman's one, and that's a man's one. And it's not just a politically correct thing, it's just a factual thing. Because there are a lot of guys who you'll be able to taste much stronger, much bolder, much more advanced, complex flavours than they can. And yet they'll tell you, it's just a woman. And that's got to stop. That is the test.
Yeah, no, we're definitely a better place now. But yeah, I think there's still a man that will doubt what you said until they've had confirmation from another man, to be honest. And you're getting congratulated there for your 90-point review.
Oh, the Lafroig.
Is that the one I tried? You know,
yeah, it was the decanter, the creamy one. It's pretty good, isn't it? The one thing I don't do, Ian, I don't put whiskies really generally in for awards and all that kind of thing. I don't need a pat in the head. We did do with Dumbarton Rock for a big European one in Brussels because we can produce that again and again and again. So it made kind of sense. What are these things? If I put them into an award, by the time the award has been given to us, we don't have any left. So what's the point? There's no point. However, when I do get good reviews, particularly from someone like Serge, that people really respect, I mean, Serge has become a bit of a fan of ours, but he will call it as he sees it, which is 100% right. He is not a big fan of wine finishes. And you see that in his scoring. But like so with that Dumbarton, he gave it such high praise and then a low score. Well, I think I get 85 or 86. But the comments didn't match the score, but he just doesn't like wine finishes. But they are massively important to me because that's what the whiskey drinking public read. And it's a wee bit like, and it's a term I hate, influencers. But so many people now listen to the influencers of the world. Ralphie is doing phenomenally well with his YouTube channel and all these things. When Ralphie did a review of my 16-year-old inch fad, my phone nearly melted. And I didn't have any of it left. I'm like, I don't know what to say, guys, but it will be out there in shops somewhere. Go hunting.
I've never watched, what did I tell her? I tuned in to try and watch Ralphie once because somebody suggested try and get one with Blether. I don't think I know who this guy is. And I think maybe it was that thing of maybe I had to be there from the start. I was like, is this man just in a shed?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a man in the shed. I like him. He's a lovely guy. I've met Ralphie a good few times. Very different character for me. And the minute someone starts with, hello, well, mate, it's that kind of Reverend I Am Jolly thing starting to come back into play. I am so respectful for what he does. He does something very, very different from the way I would do it. But he's got hundreds of thousands of people who listen to him. Serge is exactly the same. Hundreds of thousands of people will read his reviews. I don't have the ability to reach hundreds of thousands of people. So if he's doing it for me, that means a lot. But it's not just that. You get guys, just simply on their phone. They'll just lift something and quick review of, I just tried this and blah, blah, blah. Nose, palate, finish, send. That's brilliant. I love that. And even if it's not maybe something they liked, but it's constructive criticism, I'm fine with it.
I think it could be a fantastic tool. I think the industry has, it's like fashion, isn't it? So sometimes there's that drama.
Generally, you're asking me about fashion.
You are rocking the flat.
It's the lightest shirt I've got. It was bloody roasting when I get in the car.
But I think sometimes like influencers, they'll jump on a bandwagon. So as soon as somebody slates a whiskey, that's it. Everyone then slates it afterwards instead of judging its own merit. It's eventually hard for a distillery to then shake that back off again. So like if it's people that are generally just judging it on its own merit and not just on type maturation they like or don't like, or like distilleries they like or don't like, yeah, I think that's fantastic.
I think that one of the most important things with any review is it's completely personal.
Yeah.
I would never review something and be massively negative about it. I would be constructive. And I would pick out the salient points that I thought were good in it.
Yeah.
I bet you could read between the lines and go, big man didn't like that.
Yeah.
Any clown can come on and slate you. Anybody, that's the easiest thing in the world. But you can see through it like a pane of glass. Like, that's just some ball bag that his mate man doesn't like me, or that I put in his arse when I was walking the door or whatever. That's fine.
Yes. It's the same with wine finishes. For every person who loves one, there's somebody that hates it.
I said on the other night when I was doing my last masterclass in Belgium, I said, right, we're going to vote for the Dram of the night. And here's the key. See the one that you really did not like. I guarantee that's at least 3 folk in the room's favourite tonight. And see your favourite tonight. I guarantee there's 3 or 4 folk who just did not like it at all. It's so individual.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. It means that there are no rights and wrongs. If we all like the same thing, there would be one massive distillery making one massive bottle. And that would be it.
No, that's true. That is true. We're lucky there's so much fun talking around this. Paul McKendrick. Hi.
I've heard of him.
Do we know Paul?
I've heard of him.
So reminiscing about that snog is often, okay? Can't wait till the next time. You know what? Such a big blur.
Yeah, isn't that big flip?
That was a little kiss emoji as well.
Yes, it is.
Honestly.
It genuinely
He's
is.
just working away through whiskey.
He's just a tart. Tapped. Big juice, so am I.
Well, he was giving tongue to everyone because
Oh, was he?
he snogged them.
Oh, Paul, I thought it was special.
He snogged Ian for too. Actually, you don't know where he's been at. Stay away from him. Nice to see you all. Ian, I'd love for Kenny MacDonald to tasting at one of our nights. It looks, I think you're getting like an invitation to the.
Just drop me a message, Steve. Drop me a message. I'll see what I can do. You know, it's one of the things, especially as a small indie bottler, it's really, really important for us to get the word out. It's really important to put a glass in somebody's hand. I can go online and I can wax lyrically about everything that we do. It's only when you actually get to try it that you go, oh, wait a minute, hang on, that's good. I like that. Where can I get that? And that's the key. I need to be able to put a glass in folks' hands. So for any of you who are members of whiskey clubs and blah, 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 I am open to prostituting myself out. Quite, as Paul McKendrick's just obviously told everybody. You don't have to kiss me, but I'll come down and do the drams anyway.
You might get kissed. Like, you can't stop him doing that. But...
Oh, no, hey, listen, it happens.
I guess the little clubs might be more fun ones because, like, as impressive as doing a room of 250 people might be, you know, it's like throwing a pebble into the sea, isn't it? It's like
it's weird. You then become the performer.
Yeah.
I love a tasting to be kind of somewhere we'll go in here tomorrow night.
Yeah.
It's small, it's intimate, it's up close and personal, and it's not me entertaining 250 people. It's a whole group of whiskey enthusiasts in one room having a chat.
I like that. But I love when people tune in as well because all these guys, all the Blether and the film themselves, they all start chatting to each other. None of the questions, sometimes just them talking to each other. I love that when you're doing a tasting as well. You know, if it's like two separate groups, they all start getting to know each other, and then you get all that sort of like, you know, boat bouncing off.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's just much more fun than just talking about them.
I had one in Nuremberg years ago, and it wasn't just me, there was a good few of us. And mainly centred around Jim McEwen. Now, Jim had phoned me up, and I got on really well with Jim. And he said, look, I'm doing this masterclass in Nuremberg. You going to be there? I'm like, aye, I'm there. Right, you're doing it with me. Am I? Aye, I'm picking a few folk. All right. So who he picked? And he told me. Juliet Buchan's coming. All right, I'll get on great with Juliet.
Yeah.
Isa from Bendern, who's there you go, another young woman master distiller at Bendern. Right, okay, grand. But see, if you're not doing it, I'm not doing it. Fine, fair enough. I'll show you photos later on. We took a selfie on stage, and what was behind us looked like the end of a football match. It was insanity. With 250 folk up on tables, giving it laldy, and this is nuts.
Hello, Mr. Stewart.
How are you?
Guy just came in with a cap.
The camera moved and we can't get it back to you.
But it's all right because it's actually a better angle, in fairness. Right, now this is great timing because what's going to happen is Mike's going to steal my seat and I'm going to go for a pee. Good timing.
So we realised that if you hold your hand up, the camera will focus on your hand.
I know that's what he said, but it doesn't work. Okay.
Kenny can go in the middle. Good evening, everybody. How are you all? Behaving, I hope.
Yeah, oh yeah. Everybody was wondering if you were on holiday. I could explain that you're just busy working.
Have you seen the weather outside? We don't need to go on holiday. Look at you in your summer dress.
Yeah, right. Usually I'm just sat in my pants at home, but yeah. But actually.
So that's what we're going with, is it? That's what we're starting. Okay. How many people are at home sat in their pants? Let us know if that is one of you.
100% Paul McKendrick sat in his pants. You can't get that man's put trousers on.
Is it his Stolly.
He's got a Stolly mixture with bikini on. Yeah.
What's in the can? This is a Fierce IPA. So Fierce is our local Aberdeen brewery. This is their crisp and juicy IPA.
Y fronts. Stephen isn't a. Can you even buy Y fronts anymore?
Surely there's an OnlyFans page with Y fronts fetishes.
Dedicated only to wine.
Has to be.
Oh, if there's not.
If there's not, there will be now. Get their t-shirt.
Brilliant. So Kenny's Hamilton one and this wine one are insanely good. So I messed up again by not drinking.
I'm not drinking.
Hey,
Come on tomorrow.
I'm
Tasty.
not working tomorrow. So I could get free.
There you go. Sorry.
We're all good.
I hope everyone can hear us. Okay, it's a bit late now.
Thank you.
Well, not just comment to say we can't. And your video didn't play, so for ages me and Kenny are like, can you see us? So like, are we live?
Oh, but I think we genuinely were. Somebody had said, no, we can see you.
Yeah.
And I thought, I apologise profusely.
Did it not play?
No, I think it did, but normally it's much easier. I've got the face for radio,
Wow,
so if you can't see me, it's all good.
Well,
So
Yeah, that was good IPA. I'm not a big IPA fan, but that's
Nice,
a good
isn't it?
IPA, really good.
So Rick, it's getting a Kenny's seal of approval there. So he's asking what was in the can. Peter, hi Frank, doing a Graham Fraser and tuning in on the way home from Ben.
Jeff Ross, who needs
Who
pants?
needs pants?
You just have no pants. What the thoughts there?
Yeah,
And
not we're talking
I wonder why I drink. Dear Christ.
You went away for 2 seconds and
So this is what happens when I leave the room.
Yeah.
I come back and suddenly we're talking about who's just wearing pants. Oh, the buzz here.
Did you ever do your tastings in lockdown with just your pants?
Wish I had.
Yeah, you never did that.
I genuinely wish I had, but I would just go the full hog and just go full commando, just for a giggle. And actually, in fairness, if I'd stood up, you'd have laughed more than me. But nah,
Yeah.
no
Temptation's there, but I always worry that
Temptation's there. I have
count the
blotted.
laptop and it's going to fall down and people are going to get
I have blotted my copybook once or twice with a kilt on, right enough. It's a dangerous thing
yeah.
to have.
Too much of
No. Sometimes completely innocently. My favourite whiskey story. Have I told you the Tel Aviv story?
I don't think so. but
Oh,
I'd love to know that.
So, first time ever I'm sent to Tel Aviv, Whiskey Live. Not a place I'm going back in a hurry, I might add. But I'm sent out, quite the thing. Ian McLeod's still at the time. And I thought, well, I always wear the kilt and everything. It's May in Tel Aviv, so it's going to be a wee bit warm. It's going to be pretty hot, Kenny. Right, okay. But don't worry, I'll be in a beautiful big air-conditioned place. It's one of the richest cities in the world. Right, okay. So I'll be all right. You'll be all right with the kilt. Fine. Get to the hotel. Flight always arrives from the UK into Israel middle of the night. Get to the hotel. Quite warm outside for the middle of the night. Try and get a few hours kip. Up in the morning. Get a bite to eat. Strap on the big tartan marquee. Right, we're good to go.
I just wanted to strap on.
Strap on.
I said I couldn't think entirely.
Let's see.
If I had that on, maybe folk wouldn't have laughed as much. It's 42 degrees outside, and I'm wearing my kilt, like woolen waistcoat. Man, I'm going to die. So I've got to run from the hotel to the car because there's air conditioning in the car. Wet. Oh, man. So we arrive at this really high-end big shopping mall. Well, where are we going here? Well, the event space is the top floor. All right, okay, fine. Security's insane. They're all around the car with mirrors and all of this, and we're all searched. Didn't get my skiing down my sock, right? I thought walking in my knife in my sock. They're not that bloody good. What's that? I'll take that out. You can search my leg. There you go. And then we go. In the lift, top floor. Shit. It's the roof. We're on the roof. It's now up to 47 degrees. And I'm wearing the best part of 7 kilos of lamb's wool. There is no coverage here, there's no shelter, there's nowhere to run. Fuck. So the first thing I do is go downstairs, buy myself a hat. You can fry an egg on this, and a towel, and I wrap a towel around my neck so I can keep drying my face as we're talking to folk. Now, over in the corner, there's this beautiful landscape roof, big glass balustrade all the way around it. Over in the corner's a wee white tent. I said, what's the wee white tent? That's for the master classes. All right, I'll get 2. I'll go and have a look and see. It's so cool in here. They've got this great air conditioning unit. Oh, that's marvellous. So whenever there wasn't a master class, I'd just go and rest the kilt on top of the air conditioning unit. Oh, that is the belt. That's the business. I knew I'd come quite relieved. But the master classes stop, the buggers turn the air conditioning unit off. But I don't know if I go behind it, nobody can see me, so I can get a wee bit of aerating.
Yeah.
Aerating. So I'm working with a stunningly beautiful Israeli girl called Noah. And Noah says to me, Kenny, you keep vanishing away into that corner. Why? Toilets are over there. I went, I know the toilets. I said that I need to freshen up. Freshen up. Noah, things are starting to cook under this thing. They're cooking. These are now hard-boiled eggs here. I need to let the goods breathe a little bit. And she went, oh, you don't wear anything under that, do you? I went, no, never. So what exactly are you doing? I said, I'm just letting the goods breathe. And she says, show me. I'm not dead yet. Come with me, young lady. I've told Victoria this story, so it's all good. And we wander across into the corner right behind the wee white tent. Now, being the consummate gentleman that I am, I did turn my back to her. And I wafted my kilt. That's all good, that's fine. And she says, what about that office block over there? I went, no, it's Saturday. It's really Sabbath. No offices work this Saturday. That one does. How do you know that? My brother's been texting me. Tell a Scottish guy we can see him. Like, okay. Right, And she went, do you know what that building is? Well, apparently not, no. She went, no. That's the headquarters of Mossad, Kenny. You've been flashing the Israeli Secret Service all day. They think it's Morse code. Dot, dash, dot, dot, dash, dot, dot, dash, dot. It's changing colour. What's going on? Dot, dash, dot. Now, I was told getting into Israel was difficult, and it was. It takes you about 2.5 hours to pass security on the way in. But I was told getting out was even harder. So we turn up, there's me and a lad from White Mackay, one of the directors of White Mackay. We turn up a good 3 hours, maybe 4 hours before our flight. Nobody has ever gone through security faster. Tel Aviv airport with me. Oh, it's him.
They wouldn't recognise your face.
No, that's very true, actually.
Anything else?
That is very true.
Did they tell you what you were sending? What message they'd written down?
They just said whatever it was desperate. Yeah, I can't be taken anywhere, folks, sadly.
You know, you got to go twice. Second time, just apologise.
I did go back and decided not to do that again. New venue, I was safe the next day. Right.
That's fantastic.
I'm going to have a Dumbarton Ross because it's sitting in front of me.
I think I'll join you with that.
Very good, man.
So I just had, this will be interesting, because I just had a cask strength Sineg from Cahoon.
Oh, right, so it's going to be slightly different then.
Well, there's a clean glass right there.
An enjoyed one.
No, it's okay, don't worry. No, people are literally live on TV and everyone's always trying.
Oh, that's a very good point.
You like flashing the secret.
Oh, see, honey trap. Honey trap. Sponsorship.
Fine, cheers. All the best.
I will
Cheers,
not
guys.
listening.
Oh,
Cheers.
sorry I missed the first hour and a half.
Well, we hadn't actually started, mate, but we're just padding until you got up here.
We did most of our chat before we went live. I was like, we don't have nothing to celebrate.
No, and they know it. Oh, this is the most boring Blether I've had.
Shit, can't
Make them stop.
Stupid, yes. No, so yeah, I've discovered like a whole other. You're not old enough to have many careers you had. Like Penny was like literally a bouncer.
27 years. I was senior meat inspector for the Food Standards Agency, working in Scotland's Scotland's busiest abattoir for 17 years.
Senior meat inspector too.
Yeah, well, that's a different meat.
Did you inspect the senior meat?
I very much more Sam's job, not mine. I worked in Scotland's busiest abattoir for 17 years.
Wow.
Whilst still working in the doors. So we would kill 500 cattle and 3,000 sheep on our busiest day.
In a day?
Yeah. And it was, so there was myself, there was 9, 10 of us as meat inspectors, and we had to do a full post-mortem on every single animal that was killed. Oh, the speed that I've got with a knife is phenomenal. I can shave a fly as it walked past me.
That's amazing. Wow. That's a lot of meat.
One every 53 seconds we shot with cattle.
Oh my gosh.
Apologies to any.
Sorry, we will do another version of this, which will be a vegetarian and then a vegan one, where I'll be talking about lettuce.
How many lettuces could you kill in 50 seconds?
None, I love lettuce. I'd just break my heart. Break my heart. Couldn't do it. It would be criminal. Christ, one was Prime Minister. Oh, no, sorry. Outlasted the Prime Minister. It would have been better being the Prime Minister.
And that's my favourite in this industry as well, though. Like, it draws people from all sorts of walks of life. Like,
You need that.
Yeah.
You need that. You know, if I look at guys like Marcus Swatland, Wolfburn, these police background,
Yeah.
phenomenal addition to the whisky industry. The guy's brilliant. I love him. Mark's a great guy.
He doesn't look like a policeman either. A lot of policemen all look like they've all been cut out of policeman's handbook.
Yeah. It's like copy paste. It's a wee mould that they pop them out
But
of.
he doesn't look very good at all.
Well, there's very few policemen who've got a moustache that does that. Unless it's going back to old London town in Jack the Ripper town. Hello, what's all this in? And he doesn't have the accent for that, but he does have the moustache for it. But the thing is, you see so many young kids nowadays that graduate university, they get a job in the industry, and they don't know anything else. They don't have any life experience to bring to the industry. If I look at guys like Mark, guys like myself, who've come from out with the industry, we're bringing a whole different deck of cards into the game, and all these weird mixed experiences that we can then throw into what we're doing. Mark working for a distillery, me working for myself. But it's a really, really good thing. It's a positive thing.
I have the storytelling as well, though. I think you become a good storyteller with the more stories you have to tell.
It's very difficult to tell a story if you don't have a story to tell.
Yeah.
You know?
You're straight out of university.
And that sounds really obvious, but
it's not.
It's true.
It's not. I mean, I run a whisky club in Glasgow. I've done for 11 years now. And every now and again, you'll get a young brand ambassador who's throwing the fresh meat to Parana, you know, and they'll turn up with a bottle and they'll go, "Oh, so this is lovely. You'll love this. This is an 11-year-old Dumbarton, which has been matured in a Tuscany cask, and it's delicious. And the reason that it's delicious is because all of the flavours in it are, you're like, Jesus, man, put the manual down, speak for your heart, not your mouth. And it's a shame for them because they're just pitched in. They're given what's the worst thing in any part of the whisky industry? A marketing department. The marketing department say, you'll do this, and you'll do this, and you'll do this. Well, I've got a whisky that tastes like a walk through Paris on a rainy Tuesday. Oh, please make it stop. It's just bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are kind of beautiful, and I do like a pretty bottle and a nice story, but I'm also aware enough to understand that it is a pretty bottle and a nice story.
Yeah.
So, like,
It's nice if it's a pretty bottle in a real store.
Are we in danger though of knowing too much and losing that romance about whiskey?
I don't
Or
think
is there a
so.
way we can combine them both? We tell it in the right way that is also true.
I think I'm pretty well read, but I'm still mesmerised with the romance of it.
Mhm.
I've never lost. Actually, the more I know, the more I fall in love with it, and the more romantic it becomes. Even though I know the intricacies of the, that's not even a word. You know that way every now and again you got a word you can't say. I can't say what somebody that robs a house.
or-
I can't say that.
it's like charcuterie. It's in the third.
I can say charcuterie, that's okay. Just don't rob my house. If the police turn up and say, who robbed your house? I go, it's a burglar, burglar.
Robber.
That is hard.
It's a horrible
I
statistic.
can't do anaesthesis.
Anaesthetics.
Yes, I can't do it. I just keep going. Like, I just can't.
Anaesthetics.
Yeah,
It's like skimming a stone over the water.
I'm here to see the anaesthetist just put her to sleep, honestly.
Who's the numbing guy? Like, or it's either you or Kenny.
Or yeah, the guy with the cloth in the corner for in the corner.
He'll do. I gave the jab.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's true. I just certain words I hit. I'm like,
But a couple of drams and you the roll off the tongue and name.
normally it's no bother at all.
Yeah.
It's grand.
Loquacious, the more you drink.
Oh, we're getting anything. What's
I
that?
know, right?
Loquacious.
Where did you learn that one?
In the back of a box of cereal. I do read.
See, I never eat my breakfast. I just can't be arsed with it at all. At that time of the day,
I
nah.
used to do the puzzle for that.
If they're covering that, I'm your man.
One of the great things.
Never go over the lines.
The crossword in the back. And
Yeah.
they're so easy as well. You feel really good about yourself.
You're having killing.
3 seconds.
That's so easy. It's not exactly fun with the guy that makes a Herald crossword. You know, you get your 6-year-old going, Dad, what's Quintus Rubius Alias' son's name? Oh, I can't mind that off the top of my head, son. What are you doing? Cocoa Pops, Dad. Yeah, right, okay. Nah, it doesn't work that way.
Oh, cool. Get that.
I was thinking about the romanticism though, right? Because we're also learning about new stuff in the industry. Because we were talking about the Dave Room and
Arthur Motley.
yeah,
Mhm.
with the
Antiquary.
Antiquary.
Antiquarian. Like they've literally just like gone through the archives of history and kind of changed our viewpoint about like how long we've been using casks for maturation.
Mhm.
So I think romanticism and storytelling is always going to be there because we're always evolving, learning new things. It's just,
But that's the beauty of it, Cat. Nobody's an expert in this.
yeah,
The minute you hear someone say, oh, I'm a whiskey expert, whoa,
Yeah.
get away from me.
I don't like that.
No, you're not.
Sometimes when we're doing an event for an external a charity or something, and they say, oh, and we've got
Whiskey expert, you're like, please don't do that. Please,
Yeah,
it rankles, it's
Yeah.
no good.
yeah.
Because if you're an expert, you've got nothing left to learn.
Yeah.
Now, we've got plenty left to learn. Every day throws up something new and something that you can be a wee bit more expansive with. And you find a dram or a way to make that dram a wee bit more flexible or interesting. It's great. That's what I love about it.
you should want to keep learning. I think it gets stagnant if you just assume that you know everything. There's nothing else to do.
Well, how boring a life is that?
Yeah.
You know, I want to know what's next. You guys will be the same. What's next?
Yeah.
You know, it's not, all right, I know this. I'm the big cheese. What's next? What's round the corner? There's always something there.
Rick's got a great comment there, and I think he probably speaks for all of us. No matter how many facts I know about
Does it say, can you tell Kenny to shut up?
it does not. No matter how many facts I know about whiskey, the moment I walk into a dunnage warehouse, the smell makes me a novice with an ear-to-ear smile.
It's great, isn't it? That's a beautiful comment, actually. And there is nothing quite like it. That damp, dark, musty, oaky smell. The angel share filling the whole room.
Yeah.
And I can actually feel the hairs in the back of my neck going up thinking of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Especially if you go into
Whiskey poured, isn't
pretty much, aye. Thank Christ I've not got my kilt on. Fuck.
you walk into the warehouse and start laughing out of pure joy.
What a pure joy.
Oh, Kenny's in the corner.
What's Kenny? Well, you know what Kenny does. It's,
I see the tradition and all.
and in fairness, you know, everywhere we go, Victoria's like, I'm sorry, it's Kenny. The laugh, we know what he's like.
I know, it's when you walk in with a group of people as well, like, you know, the first time at the distillery, usually still house, you know, people get impressed with that. And then, yeah, you open that door and you turn on the light. You let everybody get in first and turn on the light. It's just that kind of people going, oh.
It's magic.
Like, yeah, you never know.
Just take a deep but gentle breath.
Yeah.
Your life's now changed.
I know.
Because whilst you're doing that, I pickpocketed you.
Do you find that reaction is more obvious or a bigger reaction from a group who are maybe complete novices or whiskey enthusiasts? Does it?
Yeah, like both will do it, but for different reasons, to be honest. Like, yeah, like people that never been before, like, because a lot of times, like, this is all new information. They've got no idea we're literally keeping hundreds and hundreds of cats. And these, like, especially in old Belgium, because there's how to affect it. People are like,
the kids will pass it down the way to school.
Yeah, like, literally,
Dogs pee against
the wall.
Well, let me tell you about the atmospheric conditions, which really make their whiskey special.
And then
What they don't say is cat goes up and mops up the pee and brings it in.
Just get
like squat people talk about that. I don't interact. Do you dare market territory?
Suddenly we've got a whole new market, guys. So if anyone's got any real gimps out there, if they can get in touch with us, Cat will mark up these particular casks, and we've got a whole new market.
It's another OnlyFans page.
That's another OnlyFans page.
You know what? I'm just happy. Don't be on your cat. Don't be on your cat. Not
That is
at
why.
my work.
That's
Just put out there that not at my work.
Private appointment only.
Private.
What?
Oh, dear.
What did I get myself into?
You need to pop down to your warehouse groups. Like,
Oh, listen, I know you are.
every second, 30.
I know you are. I can even hold you up.
I would probably.
you're only wee. I'll be easy.
This is just an aside, but my dad messaged me the other day because he's been on holiday.
Everyone was alright till you came up. Everyone was quite sensible till you came up. It has plummeted the fucking depths since you came up. All I did was go for a pee. I came back and it's fucking Sodom and Gomorrah in here. Oh man alive.
I do see a comment
That
in
was all you. That was all you. Both of you coming in.
I think any responsibility. It is a good idea.
Talk about your dad.
I just talking about how small I am.
Oh.
I'm watering his plants, right? So he's on holiday.
Stop. Oh.
I'm being on them. Hi, Dad, if you're watching this, he does tune in. Actually, I just realised my dad watches this. I know.
Dad, you and me need to have a word. This is out of order, by the way. She's not how to bring up children.
They're all got adult things, mostly. So my dad's like, oh, I've put the plants somewhere accessible for you. It's like, so you mean you've just put them somewhere lower down? It's like, yeah. He just knows photos for me.
So tiny. If she stands up, she gets weird.
I do. I'm actually standing right now. I just have really thin brown legs.
No, you don't. Really, we know there's nothing brown.
No,
We know. You don't take that.
I know. I can do it, yeah. Completely white.
But that's just gone off kilter altogether.
It has. I'm not peeing around these casks.
Yet.
I'm not really now, but I'm currently not peeing around these casks.
That's good.
We're just moving on to the next.
I mean, you guys probably got her Insta handle, so DM.
My DMs have heard nothing about people asking me to come. Working in whiskey, you meet a lot of interesting people, but you get a lot of strange requests.
Yeah.
What's the strangest one you've had? Can you say it right?
There's a question.
That is a really good question. So, like, I mean, it's not like I know what sugar daddy, like sugar baby requests, like sugar daddies ask you want to be like a sugar baby. I suppose it's not really whiskey related, I guess. What would be the weirdest one? I don't know. I think a lot of times people just think they know me because, like, they've seen me on social media.
Yeah.
And they just want to chat. I'm like, it's nice. But
Until it's not.
Yeah, till it's not is the bit.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to like redefine what the chat is and what they think it is.
Redefine, you mean you just say, fuck off.
Yeah, and just, well, yeah. It's like,
Block.
yeah.
The weirdest one I've ever had is a guy asked me if I could bottle a single cask, just one single bottle, for a birthday present. And I went, yes, I can do that, no problem at all. And it was for his cat. That's the strangest thing I've ever had.
That was your dad.
And like, how do you want me to do this? Do you want me to drop a pilchard in the fucking I don't know what. Do you want fish cake? I could try and get something from a cask of fish cake and put that in. No, I want it. It's special. I'm going a couple somewhere.
Yeah, for that one. They've always got cats and labels.
Yeah, they do actually, don't they? Yeah, they're quite catty.
Yeah, I like that about them actually. It's got a lot.
But I did generally have someone want me to bottle of whiskey for their cat's birthday.
I get a lot of requests like, oh, I've just had a baby. Can I buy whiskey? It was distilled today. And you're like, well, potentially in 8-10 years time, but I can't give you it now.
Well, telephone me, and I'll find it.
Okay.
Simples.
Yeah.
I've done that quite a lot. I've got a lot of casks that have to be on AYS, has to be that date.
Yeah.
Because it's the baby's birthday, and they'll get it when they're 21.
It is nice.
It's a nice thing.
I wish I bought a 1985 when I first started at Glengoyne. There's no way I can afford 1985 now.
I was offered a little mill in 1990 for 350 quid for a hogshead. If I started that hogshead, I'm six figures.
Yeah, I know.
That hurts. It's like someone going, here's a winning lottery ticket that you can cash in many years to come. Would you like it? Nah. I'll just go without it.
How much was it?
Exactly. Here's some magic beans. Aye, we chase yourself.
I know it is that crystal ball thing, isn't it? All those bottles we used to buy for what, like 30 quid, that now no.
First Yamazaki 18 I had.
Can you still buy Yamazaki in Tesco?
Yeah, no 19.
But you've got to remember that
It was still dirt cheap.
Yeah.
And then at one stage it went to a 4-year waiting list to buy the bloody stuff.
But the reason that these whiskies are now so expensive is because people are opening them. If
Yeah, but you
opened them and drank them at the time,
they would just be dead. And that's what whiskey's for.
Yeah.
That's what whiskey's for. Open it, drink it, have fun.
Yeah.
Cool. And don't get me wrong, I have got a relatively modest collection. But the idea is, I bought an old house, well, it's a 1946 bungalow. It's not been decorated since the 1980s tops. It is an absolute bomb scare. No, I had royal blue gloss paint with a green ceiling.
Why do people paint ceilings different colours? It's like, wow.
And a massive 5-stone fireplace.
Was it painted green or was it?
No, it was no, genuinely was painted green. Other bits were mouldy, but that one was painted green. So the whole place is getting ripped apart. It's all getting redone. I've got walls down. I've got actually quite good with a big hammer. It's all my stress. Fucking airports. Fucking Mossad. I can knock walls down. I'm good at that. I've discovered that. So it's all getting remodeled. And one day I'm going to have my whiskey room. So I've got 800 odd bottles.
Wow.
So the idea is they're all going up the wall. I've got a really nice wee room. And anybody who gets the chance to come into that wee room, glasses are over there. Help yourself. That's that. If I get to that stage, I'm being very happy, man.
Let's get you to that stage. No, I'm going to get one.
Hey, listen, those
I'll
are
bring my own glass. Yeah, we don't.
Exactly. Here's my glass.
Lend me.
But that's whiskey's for drinking. It's for sharing.
100%.
It's 100% something that's for sharing. It's if you look at alcohol in general, it has got a terrible, terrible reputation of driving folk apart. If you play with whiskey properly, it draws people together. And it draws them from all over the world, all different backgrounds, colours, races. sexual orientations, whatever, it doesn't matter. They share the same passion as you do.
Mhm.
And suddenly it's like you're speaking to someone that you've known all your life because your hearts are connected by the one thing and you're talking about the one thing.
Yeah.
In exactly the same way, with the same synergy as you would do had you known each other all your days.
Yeah.
And it breaks all these barriers down.
Yeah, you've got like that thing in common of like a distillery visit you've been to, or like that one expression that you tried, or people who just base their whole holiday coming to the distillery because they love it. You're like,
Yeah.
And even if you're a fan of polar opposites, it still brings you into that. It's not
Still a really good thing.
politics or sport
No.
or religion or anything where you get fractions. There's nothing fractions.
I think it's one of the last bastions of humanity where we can actually agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Because we've lost the ability to agree to disagree. It's either you're on that side, I'm on that side, and we fucking hate each other, and that's the way it is. But when it comes to whiskey, I'm not a particular peathead. I have my moments. Actually, I go through a kind of 18-month roller coaster of loving it, not loving it, loving it, not loving it. At the moment, I'm kind of halfway down. It's not for me at the moment. But I can still completely appreciate it. I still understand the quality of it. I still understand why folk love it. And I still can sit with someone who all they drink is peated whiskies all their life and have a great discussion with them. I don't go, well, you're fucking wrong. Okay, you should be drinking refill bourbons. And that makes you a moron and blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's one of the last places we can agree to disagree in a really nice way.
yeah, definitely. I think it's good fun.
Um,
A few comments.
We do. Green and red, nice to have you on.
That's a modest collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
You're 800.
hey, listen, in fairness, Jeremy, I'm not that modest a guy. So, yeah.
Red, I can see Glencadam sitting.
Yeah,
Yes,
got a
you
nice
can.
little collection there.
We had Glencadam in Scott was into the tasting on Friday. So that was 4 of the 5. What was the 5th one? It was the 18-year-old bourbon cask, which was there. And then here's a couple more Kenny's Dram Mor, Dram. So
Do you know that's a really, really nice comment actually. Peter has just popped up there. Whiskey's great for your social health too.
Yeah.
And actually, I know coming to the whiskey club that I run in Glasgow, there's a few old boys will come to that, and it's probably the highlight of the month because it's the one time of the month they actually get to sit with a big group of folk and they're involved and they're accepted and they're talked to and folk will go and buy them a pint and then they'll go back home. And I know both the old boys are widowers. They'll go back to a flat on their own.
Yeah.
And they'll close the door. And they'll look forward to the next month. It gives them something to look forward to. And it doesn't just break down the you're right, you're wrong thing. It breaks down the age barriers. It breaks down every kind of barrier. You can be sitting with a boy who's deep into his 80s and you're talking about exactly the same thing in exactly the same way. You know? And that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else I can think of that will do that. You're certainly not going to get a wine club in Glasgow. Where they're like, I'm just away down for a wee chateau down the park or whatever. No, it's not going to happen. But when they're coming down for a dram, that's something that, especially the older ones, where they grew up on blended Scotch whiskies. They didn't grow up on these fancy single malts and all that.
Yeah.
They grew up on blended, and it was a half and a half. They get a dram and they get a half pint and a half pint, or a pony even, a third of a pint. And they would sit there all day, they'd take a wee sip at it, and they'd buy their drams. And every now and again, the bar would take their pony away, cowp it, and pour them a fresh one. There you go, yeah, a fresh one, Billy. Well, thanks very much, that's grand.
we had a lad in my pub, and he would get to about that and the whiskey and just pour it into the
Just a wee boiler maker on the way down.
and just keep that on the half pint.
And just top it up every now and again.
And what I love about these guys who sit at the corner of the bar drinking their blends, they'll all have their blend, and by Christ, they know if you poured them the wrong one. And they ask for the bells, and you put a
You put a white Mackay in it and a grouse in it. Oh, listen, my dad would only drink grouse, and that was it.
the most brand loyal creatures on the planet is a blend drinker.
100%. I used to, every single place I would go to, I would bring my dad back an interesting bottle, I think. And I'd come in, see him, and he was getting old by then. It's like, what have we got here? Well, I got you this, Dad. Explain it to you. Couple of glasses through, pour 2 good glasses. Like, there you go, Dad. Oh, here, I'm looking forward to this, son. That's lovely. I like that, right? But, oh, Jesus, man. That's strong. Aye, it's a wee bit stronger, but I'll enjoy that. Thanks very much. You're a good lad. Thanks very much. Aye, no problem. And I'd be down 3-4 days later. You want me half? I'll take a wee half that day. And my dad always used these big crystal tumblers, you know. Yeah. But he had a tendency to fill the damn things. And he actually came through. Victoria will tell you this. The 3 years were in. She said, Victoria, do you want me half? And she went, aye, Murdo, but this size. I was like, so hers comes through like half full, you know. She's like, Murdo, I said a small one. Like, I wouldn't give that to the cat here. And he brought mine through, and it was actually crowning. It was that way. And he walked through dead slowly, and you know that way, to put it down with 2 hands. And I looked at it. I went, what's this? I went, what? So what's that? What's a wee half? I went, that? What's a wee half bottle? Quick as a flash, he went, no, Kenny. They made the glass that size because they expect you to fill it. And I genuinely didn't have an argument. I was like, I had to do that before I could pick the bloody thing up.
I mean, what do you say to that?
I couldn't argue. He was right. What the fuck? I've been getting this wrong all these years.
You're like,
Fill it to the top.
I mean, a pint glass is called a pint glass. You've got a pint.
Because you put a pint in it. If you give my pint glasses down to here,
Fucking raging.
they'll be all right. Well, down the house, just 2 or 3 days later, like, do you want a wee half? I went, aye, Dad, but I'm going out later on, something sensible.
That weight and measures actually a little bit pection.
Oh, it's magic. Aye, 2 fingers. Aye, very good. And
Hashtag responsible drinking.
hashtag responsible drinking all day long. And he came through and the glass went down. I looked at it and went, well, okay, fair enough. Gross. Well, Jesus, he must have finished that. That's incredible. Thanks, Dad. Sit and chat away for the next few hours. It's all grand. I'll be down the road. The old boy passed away. We're emptying the house. And I'm in breaking up furniture for the skip. They're not used to it. Victoria's in the kitchen, filling stuff into boxes. I just goes, Kenny! What? That's it. What? Come and see that. Wait, open that cupboard door. What? Is there a rat? I mean, what? What is it? Open that cupboard door. Every dram I'd ever bought him. With that at the top. The dram that was shared. I went, you old bastard.
I know, but that was that generation where single malt was like a special occasion.
Oh, it genuinely was so conditioned to his grouse. He couldn't cope with it. It was too strong for him. It was the character in there was just too much for him. Yeah. So a whole lot of the boys from up north came down for the funeral and stuff. And I spoke to the hotel and I said, look, I explained the story to him and they would laugh about it. I said, look, I've got a load of monsters coming down for this funeral. And they're all going to be sitting here with cups of tea and triangular sandwiches, and they're still going to cut the mustard. Can I bring these bottles in? He went, well, I have to charge a wee bit of corkage, but I'll not be silly. I'm like, that'd be grand. I'm fine with that. Fine. And of course, they're all sitting great.
Sausage roll as well. You got the sausage roll a week.
And they're staring at me going, God, I'm like, what the fuck? Why? Just calm yourself. Let the polite people leave. See when the polite people leave. Every single thing get tanned. I went down the stairs, kind of public bar bit. And they were saying, I want this. What's the round? I'm like, whoa, no. You've had all the good stuff up the stair. See, we're down here. We drink grouse and nothing else. Right, okay. There was 7 of us went downstairs. we finished a 3-litre bottle, a bar bottle of grouse.
Wow.
I managed to get so close to my front door, so close that I actually hit my head on the front door on the way down.
Oh, you got the
Key came out, but the key was obviously that damn heavy. It just dragged me down.
Yeah. Hate when that happens.
Awful. Always buy light keys. That's the key.
That is the main moral of the story.
But that's exactly it. Yeah.
Keep in a balloon. Just
Never have a heavy key in. You see these guys come out and it looks like they come straight from Berlin. Nah, don't do that. Just count you. It's terrible.
It's that aiming for the keyhole sort of scenario, isn't it?
Well, you need 2 hands.
Yeah, it just wins.
You need 2 hands because what you've got to do is frame it and then work it in very calmly. And then when you do get it in, you kind of fall through the door because it's a shock you've opened it. And then you suddenly go, hi, I'm home.
blood running down.
And you go, oh, I've done it. I mean, the picture you've got out there,
Yeah.
it's got that strap on my arm.
Yeah.
So I've been in the pot still, and I had a wee argument with a couple of English boys about independence and stuff like that. That's a do.
Not independence.
Not independence, but independence.
Bigger bit.
Independence, not independence. But I'd already been out in SMWS for a lunchtime meeting with a few guys who. Oh no, generally it was a lunchtime meeting. It just lasted till 5.
Big lunch.
It was a big lunch.
7 courses.
Well, yeah, they're all different distilleries.
Regions.
It's weird. And then I went down to the pot still, had a couple of these Dumbarton rocks to drop into them. And I've got a lot of folk in there, so drams are coming left, right, and centre. I'm buying drams for other people. Oh, this is fine. And I ended up having to leave because I was making a bit of tip myself. So I'm like, okay, home. Oh dear. Oh, I'm a wee bit sugary. But I've got my laptop case on me. Now, it always falls off my shoulder. So I always carry it that way. A couple of guys come up behind me, one grabbed the case and ran, because I'm the walking wounded here. But had I been stone cold sober, I might let go of the thing to grab him, but I didn't. I held on to it, which dragged him and me straight to the ground at light speed. So they buggered off, they ran. And I got home and I thought, oh man, even though I know I'm absolutely steaming, I've split my head and everything. This is not going to go well when I get home. And actually, the would-be muggers were way less scary than Victoria, who waded into me something brutal. And I went for a shower and I went to my bed. That's really sore. Got up the next morning. Christ, that is really sore. I'll go and get one of these wee strappy things, because I'm flying to Switzerland tomorrow for my last ever Ian McLeod show. I'm going to be doing music and whiskey in Zurich. Then when I come back, I'm home for a day, change of gear, then I'm going for another wee tour of Belgium. Right. So away I go, and I'm struggling with this thing, so I'm opening bottles of whiskey that way. And about 3 weeks later, we're at football, and I'm clapping like that. I can't clap like this. And my youngest son's now just qualified as a physiotherapist. He went, "You've been at the hospital with that?" I went, "No, it's getting better for you, and I can move my fingers." He went, "Get to the hospital, you stupid old bastard." He's way bigger than me. I've got to agree with him. I should have gone to the hospital. So I went to the hospital and they x-rayed it, and they went, "When'd you do this?" 3.5 weeks ago. Was it not sore? I nipped a bit. I nipped a bit. There's been nothing holding your hand onto your arm. Every bit of bone has sheared completely. Your hand has fallen off your arm.
Your hand is just falling off.
Hanging by a bit of skin.
That'll explain why it hurt a bit then. Why? What have you been doing? I said, I went to Zurich there, I went to Belgium, did tours of whiskey places. I had a wee strap on.
A strap
I'm
on.
back to the strap on.
Just a wee one this time.
Just a wee one this time. And I kind of produced it from my pocket and see, look, I had this on. She just shook my head. She said, right, the problem is your hand is actually falling off your arm at the start of the set.
Yeah.
So you're going to go to Paisley today and we're going to re-break your wrist. And then we're going to plate it all back together again. Hence the nice wee scar. So that's the story of me with that wee minute. So I'm like, oh, I remember that
Back
pain.
in the day,
I remember that. That was
the
joyous.
magic cork, that was that.
Yeah, so I was here because we're kind of like, oh, it was going to tell a story about it. It's like, I was here that night. I think I was just going to tasting for you when I come back and stuff. So I was definitely hearing that you do quite back at one of the little.
You fancy it?
Well, I've had the Tilly, so let's have a.
Right, you go to the can. I'll actually go back to Tilly because there's a wee bit of peat in there and I'm not really wanting that. Yeah, because that's the Lightwoods, the Oloroso, which is an ex-Colua cask.
Are you still doing your spelling mistake?
Oh, I was gonna-
Try not to.
Try not to.
Try not to. In fairness, it's my printer that does the spelling mistake. But we were very, very quickly becoming the dyslexic whiskey company. Glengoyne has only got one R,
Yeah.
not two R's. We did explain that to them. Bourbon does have a U in it, it's not Bourbon. That's a very different thing as well.
I don't think I thought like you.
I've got enough idea you could. I'd love you to explain how it's Glengoyne. Now, I come from a Gaelic background, so I understand in the Gaelic the consonant blends that we have. We've only got 20 letters in the alphabet. So we don't have things like V, for example. So V would be B and H. Y is D and H. Glengoyne. Explain how the hell
One of those
Glengoyne
letters
is
is E,
Glengoyne.
isn't it? One of those letters is E.
Has to be.
As
It's
in,
not
as in the
Gaelic
Gaelic language, it's not missing E.
No. We've actually got
E.
E.
So,
because it's fucking handy.
it's a pretty safe one. No, it's not Gaelic, though, it's Doric.
It's Doric. That's why I want to know.
Yeah, so I think because we say everything so differently up here, I think it's a mixture of being anglicised.
Definitely, ladies and gentlemen, no fucking idea what they're talking about.
It's unique and beautiful.
John and Alec were pissed when they wrote it down. weren't they?
It's unique and beautiful.
Doric, yeah.
Oh, Doric, yeah.
Is it not just Pictish dribble?
No.
Is it not? Sure.
I'm not Belgian. It's like actually very close related to Danish Norwegian. So like a lot of Doric.
Yeah. That makes sense.
If in doubt, blame the Scandinavians.
Yeah.
Oh, they are. I remember I was sent up here years ago and was an inspector to my first
Good
thing
night,
ever in Inverurie.
Dave. Thanks, Dave.
Cheers, Dave.
You'll see Carter.
See you tomorrow, pal. And I've been sent up here in the middle of the winter. Whatever it was a small disaster. I'd take them up. Don't know if it's still here. There was an abattoir in Inverurie.
Yeah, close down.
So is it gone now?
Just goes down just this week.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah,
aye.
yeah.
So I've been sent up to work here, and it had been a hard winter. There was a lot of snow.
There are a lot of them.
And this particular year, on the Friday, I've been up here for 2 weeks, and on that last Friday, it was snowing heavy. And I phoned Kevin, who was my kind of back to the northeast, and I said, "Listen, mate, I'm all for giving you a hand out and all that. I've got to drive back to Glasgow tonight, and there's feet of snow out there already. Get down the road, go." But the first thing I did when I'd walked in at the beginning of the week is one of the labourers had come up with, "What you biting? And I just went, "Sorry, what? What you biting? And I went, "Come here, Winner. Just wait there." Ah, right. I'm from Dumbarton, but I'm staying in the wee hotel just down there. He was so disappointed. And I went and told the rest of the boys, "Don't talk about me, understands us."
It's like the whole fit.
Fit. Fit's like,
And it's like somebody that Doric, that makes complete sense, but somebody else, like I've got a stammer, I'm saying the same one over and over.
yeah, we just think you're having a fit.
But what?
Literally, a fit.
A fit.
It would be handy if I just
Aye, it was like, fit. Yeah, it's all right, it'll pass.
across the board. Stroke.
Yeah, exactly. Heart attack. Yeah. Fit. Has she got a bracelet? Is she all right? Right, just check.
20 weeks of pay. you know, like, I mean, there's still words people say to me that I get quiet on. Like, there's some beautiful ones. There's an old guy that came into the distillery recently, and he holds me gun, no. But he said, he was talking about the wildlife up at the viewpoint that was going to use to a very good fit to help them tidy up. He says, and that'll be the Labrocks back. And then he waited, he said, even I came to the Labrick out. So I said, it's a skylark. Well, you are from here.
It's all a test, isn't it? It's always when you get somebody of that age, like probably 70 plus,
Yeah.
they'll say something. My dad does it all the time.
It's
Still,
It's a bit
and
it
it's like-
sounds like I'm from here.
yeah, you'll throw somebody good. You hear what that is?
Genuine folks, it's much easier doing a tasting in Belgium. At least you speak English in Belgium. It's generally one of the first things I always do in a tasting. So right, before we start, ladies and gentlemen, hands up, who speaks English? They'll do this. Well, it's not going to be any bloody use to you here. I said, you'll notice I did not put my hand up.
Yeah. I think my favourite Doric one, I was about 15, 16, and I worked in a shop in South Fairmouth, came in, and he literally held together a Bailey town. He came up to the counter, and he just put a handful of change.
You know what Baylor Town is? Baylor Town. No, it's. Do you know when you drive through the countryside and there's that orange string holding fences together?
Aye.
Baylor.
Aye, okay.
He literally slapped in a handful of like money on the counter and just all full of bits like barley and stray. Spunks.
Spunks? Spunks?
Yeah.
That's a bit rough, is it? No.
Matches.
Matches.
What?
Matches.
Have you never played Spunky?
Totally different way, mate. In a totally different way. Normally involves a shower after it, but no. No. What?
Spunky, it's a drinking game. So you go to the bar and you put 3 matches in your hand, close your hand, and so say the 3 of us were playing. The maximum amount of spunk you can have is 9. So it'd say, so you can have 1, 2, or 3 in your hand, or none. So maximum 9, minimum 0. So we play. So you guess 7, you guess 8, I guess 6. You show your hand. I've got 2, you've got 2, you've got 3. So 7. So Cat wins. So she's out. And then we play, and whoever loses buys the back.
You're doing this and alcohol's involved. I'm already completely confused.
I have lost. So it got to the point this was our end of night darts match, darts team kind of ritual. We'd go and we'd have a few games of spunky at the bar. We never use matches, we use coins. It's easier because everyone can coin. And there was one boy said to me, he goes, mate, I never got cash in the payday tomorrow. Do you mind if I have to go around? Between the 2 of us, we lost every frigging game of spunky. I ended up paying like 15 rounds. Because when I didn't lose, he did. I'm like, for God's sake, Andy, come on. So
No,
yeah,
never a day
thankfully,
like
he paid
that.
me back.
Never a day like that, mate. I had a really good pal who could avoid a round like it was a landmine. He could sense it coming and just sideswiped it and vanished into the midst. You know, like, Stevie going, oh, it was there a wee minute ago. What? Oh, fuck's it, right? What do you want? Right, get the round in. What's he drinking? Right, get it in. And the minute his pint was poured and I'd handed the money over, it would just pop out of the ground as if it, ta-da! Oh, what the fuck were you? Oh, sorry, I'll get the next one. Big man. Oh, what the hell?
We all know that person.
Beat me up.
You should have just got something really awful as a drink. That every time we went away, came back with a strawberry daiquiri or like.
Every now and again, we give a big
Crappy
slap. That worked. That worked.
See that?
How good is that?
Just when you put it, it's like,
Kaz did that as well. I gave him a
Caramel
penny
ice
to
cream.
sip it.
and then it just lingers, but
It's just a teaspoon, 7-year-old teaspoon Glen Scotia,
so.
but it is delightful.
It doesn't say that on the label.
Nah, surprisingly not.
Blended malt.
A blended
Clearly a
malt.
blended malt from Campbell's.
Clearly a blended malt.
Doesn't say
Which would
anything.
be one malt with another malt added to it.
What would your thoughts on teaspoon?
I just love to actually see them do that.
Yeah, walking around with a bucket.
Exactly, just like with a wee teaspoon, like, you know, like the sick child, the Benylin out, right? Here you go, there's a cowboy.
I just think it would be
Get it all in there. There we go. Right, get the bung back in there now. Take that huge big fucking hogshead with the forklift away back to 6 deep where it was now that I put that 5 mil other whiskey in there.
But the rest of us blended stuff.
That's it.
And
Does anyone actually do it? I seriously have my doubts.
Even if it was, they came up with a different expression rather than teaspoon, it just sounds.
It does sound a well.
Yeah.
It sounds like the sort of thing you would be talking about after I'd gone to the toilet. You know what I mean? When I'd just come back in, can't be peeing and things, and you're teaspooning folk.
And you get your strap on.
And I've got my strap on.
Something to do.
Is it only Thursday? Sounds like a Friday.
This doesn't normally happen. No, normally I'm quite sensible. No, that's not a lie as well. But it's not normally this dirty.
It is a strange name, isn't it?
Teaspoon.
Teaspoon. Yeah.
Well, you can't use spunked because you're doing that with something else.
Well, that's right,
That's that. That'll do it. So we can't use that. Splashed. That's equally as wrong.
I guess when you're in this mindset that we're obviously all in now, anything's just going to sound.
Everything's just going to sound bogging.
Yeah.
So we'll put it to the guys at home with the clean minds. If you could replace the phrase teaspoon with something more appropriate
And clean.
and clean, what would it be?
Suddenly everyone leaves the conversation.
Steve is asking, is this 2016? €8. You don't have.
Is that a 7 or an 8?
It's an 8.
It's an 8. That's not the Canadian one. That's the second release.
You don't have. Do you do vintage years on your bottles? Or is it,
No,
no, just the age.
no, I've never done that. I might be tempted at some stage.
God.
Gobbed.
Yeah. It's like golf.
You're not selling it to me, Stephen.
No, no.
You're not selling it to me. Gotta be honest. Here's a gobbed cask. Nah.
I mean, it's like,
I'm tempted, but am I really going to buy a gobbed cask?
it sounds like our Asian accent, to be fair.
Gobbed.
Like gold cat. Yeah.
He's one of the gobbed casks, big man.
Better that than not it.
That's true. I need bother.
She's a gold cast.
How much gobbing you want, Nana? Just the one gob's grand. That'll do. There you go, down the road, mate. Aye, thanks very much.
Dipped. No.
Dipped? Nah, that sounds more like you're checking oil.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's
What would be... Now, the thing is, now that's a very good point. See, in every other part of the whiskey world, as we're explaining it, we found a very elegant way. You know, we don't finish with finesse. That kind of thing, you know. We found an elegant way. Dolloped.
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 That's a
Dribbled. Oh, man alive. You're not getting the point, guys. You're thinking of worse things we could say about it.
dribbled.
Dribbled.
squirt.
Stopped.
Those are only for
Behave yourself.
the really good casks get a squirt.
Nice woman. Behave yourself.
I said it before, I saw it.
Oh, man alive. I wasn't expecting this to be like. I thought it'd be quite a sensible conversation about whiskey. And look what's happened. What the fuck is this all about? I drove for 4 hours for this. Fuck me.
If we can get one good word.
One we can. Teardropped.
Oh, that's from that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I like
That's nice. Teardropped.
Even a dropped cask would work.
No, there's hundreds of them.
Oh, did you see the
Teardrop.
shared a little video with the casket with crack, like on our social media?
Stephen, you're improving drastically. You're starting to amend the whole path that we had before, so that's quite good.
That is romantic. It's much more romantic than God.
Squirt.
Or squirted.
I was just looking over for inspiration and I seen the black top. What about totted cask?
Totted cask.
Because a tot is a measure, isn't it?
As I mentioned, a totted cask
So
is
we
quite
tot in
nice.
that cask.
Yeah.
And it does have an industry background, a liquid re-enhancement. Now, Jeremy, it's good, but you're going to have to take the white coat off, put the clipboard down, because it is very much scientific. That is very high. I mean, look who you're talking to here.
Not as romantic.
That's going back to acing, isn't it? The additional cask.
Yes, it's enhancements. Yeah. It is. It's very. Put the glasses on, get the clipboard out. Well, let me explain how this is going to work.
Unless we can condense that to lichen.
That's just moss.
Liquid.
Nah, it's not going to work either. Teardrops were in it so far. I quite like the tot. A dod. A wee dod.
George is all over the world.
It's just been a wee dod. That's true, right? It's just had a wee dod or something in it.
That may work up here.
Yeah, it's going to sound very enticing in other places, but well, that sounds lovely. No idea what
I never said dipped.
Yeah, dipped came up earlier on.
You said dipped.
You did.
You just said twice.
Right. That's why it came up earlier on. Jesus, man.
Sounds familiar.
Bottle cap.
Nah, it's not going to work.
Can we just do away with the whole thing?
Aye, just bucket. It's called Scotia.
Single malt.
It's just called Scotia.
I think that's
Has anyone really dragged it out from 6 rows back, got a forklift, brought it down, sat it on the beer, bunged it, taken 5 ml of Springbank, dropped that in, put a fresh bung in, got the forklift, taken it back, 6 rows back, up it goes, and there it shall stay.
Probably not.
I think the actual practice of teaspoon to take out the fun and go back to that is that it's at the cask stage where you have your vat. The teaspoon goes in the vat before it goes into the cask.
Yes, would be very much, because it would need full maturation.
Yeah.
It would need full maturation.
Be that.
I understand the use of it now because it guarantees that we cannot use their IP, we can't use their name, we can't use their intellectual property on it.
Just to let the guys at home know that we do actually know what we're talking about and we're not just fanning about.
I'm fanning about, I just try and make it sound good. But yeah, it removes any chance of you using that IP because you cannot say, when you get that DO at the cask, it is not Glen Scotia. It is a blended malt from Campbelltown that you're picking up. Whether they've done it or not, and actually whether they do, it's meant to be 5 ml going into anything up to a sherry butt. And a sherry butt is 316 litres of pure alcohol at classically 63.5%. So you get the best part of 500 litres of juice in there, and they put 5 ml into it. Oh, that's going to have a devastating effect on the flavour. Oh, actually, no, it's not.
Yeah. A juice can.
Juicy cask.
Yeah.
I was thinking when you said 5 ml, I thought a milled cask, but then that's too confusing with milled.
Milled, yeah, no. So suddenly, teaspoon, after all the bogging ideas that we've been through, all the quite actually upsetting suggestions that have come through, teaspoon actually sounds all right.
Yeah,
we might have to go back to teaspoon.
Kind of
We really have. This has obviously been a discussion that has been had.
I feel like it's important work for the whiskey.
I actually feel I feel dirty
I'm
after
glad
that.
we got it out there.
I feel dirty. I feel like I need a shower after that. I feel.
You feel like you've been squirted on?
Yeah, genuinely, I feel marginally appalled by myself for even being party to this conversation.
However, important work done. You know,
Important work done.
You've got David
But
on.
that's research for you.
Big questions. We also are answering big questions.
20 mil each, 5 mil each, 20. That looks like somebody's personal number plate.
5 ml water, 5 ml H2O. I think.
Oh, it's H2O, of course that's because it's not 20, right? Get it. It did look like a private number
I
plate.
think headed barrel blend.
I've had one of those. I'm pretty sure I've had one of those.
A fish key.
That's exactly what it is, Jeremy. It's trademark, liquid trademark removal.
An LTR cask.
An LTR.
So
An
like an
LTR. There you go. It's an LTR. we might just have got the winner. We might just have sussed it.
There we go. We've had SDR.
Yeah.
Look at that. They can make a company offering the service to add the teas.
I was actually thinking of doing a teaspoon range and making a point of
Just selling pieces.
no, we're gonna put a wee kind of teaspoon down
Oh,
there.
that'd be cute.
Because you're not allowed to put the word teaspoon on a can.
No, you've got to say blended malt.
Yeah.
Teaspoon's giving too much away.
I like the idea of just turning up like Mayor Prophet and just singing a teaspoon of whiskey and just
Needs a hell of an umbrella to get me down.
Poppins cask.
A poppin'?
You did soft in Poppins cask.
Poppin'? Job done, mate.
Teamwork.
Job done. There you go. Can you picture me with the hat and the dress and the umbrella coming down?
I am.
Can you imagine the size of the umbrella? Holy Christ! If you drop me out, I think it's going to take a sizable umbrella to land me.
The picnic one. The picnic.
It's no. It's like whole parachute cities with a stick in the middle.
I love that. I could do that as a job. Just like.
And Mossad all looking up, going, "Oh fuck, it's
Yeah,
Kenny again."
again.
We know who that is.
I was sat at my desk yesterday. And there
Look
was,
at the cat here. Can't get the bottle.
it's me. There was somebody up a ladder at the roof of the distillery the other day, and
Sorry, you fixed the roof of the distillery.
no, there was somebody up a ladder, but they were where they were stood. It was in front of the security cameras in front of my desk, so I just had like cropped vision for most of the morning in front of my
Got it.
It was the most absurd thing.
Did you not just want to go in? Was he wearing jeans?
And no, luckily it was like cardboard.
Because I was going to say you'd have to go out and like get a can of Coke and then suddenly take yourself back to the
Like
1990s advert.
I don't want to.
Get the fan on and all that. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Put the sprinklers on.
Yeah.
Do you guys generally tune into this all the time, Melissa, to this pitch?
It's a lot. I mean, it's
Or is it purely pish because I'm on?
no. We
I'm
do,
intrigued.
we do talk about whiskey a lot,
Yeah.
and then it divulges into
It-
nonsense.
It goes downhill rapid.
We have talked about whiskey a lot, to be fair. Like we covered.
I can't. I haven't.
You haven't.
Stop right there. You haven't.
I haven't been part of a conversation since I sat here that hasn't included this.
But it's always been in a very, very, very grey sense.
The guys at home can. They can
Thank
sit
you.
enjoy it.
You're a great liar, mate. Thank you. It's had a whiskey undertone,
Exactly.
but it's the real smut overtone that's
But
going to make it out.
This is what the Blether is all about, and this is why the guys join, because other podcasts will do history or production or brand. What we like to do is we're in a pub talking whiskey, as these guys would do with their mates.
Do you
at the
know-
bar, and that's
I did one of these years and years and years ago, sitting at home, and it was all.
wasn't that long.
It feels like it was an age
Have you
ago.
done one with Cat? Have you been on the Blether with Cat?
No.
Oh, so it's at least 2 years ago with Russell.
Yeah, it was you and Russell. It seems an age ago. This is so much more fun. And sorry, Russell, she looks better. But no, I might just have to start tuning into this
Right?
to drop cheeky wee comments now.
Oh, 100%.
100%. Yeah.
We have
And then see what everyone else is saying. And just to check that it's this utter fucking nonsense all the time. And it's not just when I'm here.
We had so it's quite well known that I'll accidentally sometimes say something that's really inappropriate or weird. And we had Mark Watt.
Surely not.
I know, right? It's a shock.
Wait a minute, you had Mark Watt and you were the one that said something weird and inappropriate?
So he said beforehand,
he wasn't even on the screen. And see how we've got that little icon at the bottom. On when
Little
it's
box at the
highlighted on the bottom left on the screen.
Aye.
Sorry guys, you won't see this at home. But so when you're a guest joining us from remotely,
Uh-huh.
you're on that screen.
Okay.
And when Kat did this, all I see was Mark on that screen pissing himself. Like
so
he was
There's
He
the,
was
I've known Mark for a good wee while. What the hell did you
He
do to
was-
Mark?
He was relatively teaspooning the chance.
Well, there you go.
there's a build up.
Splishing and squishing and dribbling and all the rest of it.
Um,
Even teardropping come the end.
And the teardrops were out.
so, I've said a couple of things that kind of stuck, and every like that needs to go in a t-shirt. So Mark put up on his social media that he's going to go to Blether and he's going to get a t-shirt full out with me.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I am not a performing monkey. I will, I'm going to be professional, I'm not going to say anything appropriate. So he hadn't even gotten on screen. He was still in the green room, and we're talking about Scottish weather. And we're talking about the Billy Connolly quote of, with his
No such thing as bad weather, just run clothes.
yeah. Or like, yeah, you just gotta layer up. And I was like, yeah, and then you could just like, if it gets hotter, you just strip off like a little rotted onion. and Mark just pointed and said, gosh.
A little erotic onion.
So he made this fantastic little AI onion with a wee feather boa.
Dancing. And then Callum Benton made it into
It's
a
a
mug.
mug. So
That's good. That's good.
yeah.
So
So yeah, it just like every now and again I'll just say something that just like
See, I would love to every now and again say something inappropriate or that got me into trouble. I don't. I just do it every time I open my fucking mouth.
reduce the.
I would love every now and again not to say something that got me into trouble or just a car crash. Car crash,
I think if you say anything like well you can ask it, you get away with it to be fair.
to a degree. And always respect if you say, with all due respect,
No
you're
offense.
laughing.
It's when people say
No offense, but oh, here we go. The beauty of Glaswegian accent is it can either sound funny or that fucking threatening.
yeah,
They're not going to pull you up on it anyway.
that's true.
And I've seen people kind of cower in the corner and I've asked if they would like a beer.
Yeah, you're right.
What are you doing, man? I've not seen you for ages. Sorry. Have a beer. Okay. Listen, no, get your money. Just get your money. Your money's no good to you. I'll get to me one. Get fucking hell. I'm trying to buy the boy a beer. He's loaned the Polish. Polish turn up. Everyone all right, big man. Fucking somebody from out of town. Oh, here we go again, right?
I love the way how you can word things can have such an impact. No offense, but you almost come.
No offence, but with all due respect.
Have you ever heard? Are you a football man?
Yes. No. Aye. We had the discussion earlier on.
Or was it-
I'm a St fan, which means I think I'm a football man. Everyone else thinks I'm not.
So you'll have heard. You'll know the great Chip Charmer.
Oh, St man.
Yeah.
He's a buddy.
He was playing for Partick Thistle, and I remember watching.
Plastic whistle.
It was at a speaker's dinner, and he told the story. I think it's one of these recycled stories. So apologies if you've heard it, but he was on the pitch one time, and the ref was just one of those refs. Everything was against him. He turns around to the ref and he goes, "If I call you a wanker, you'll send me off, won't you?" And the ref's like, "Yeah." He goes, "But you can't send me off if I think you're a wanker." I'm not really. So Charlie goes, "Well, I think you're a wanker." And off he goes. It's like, that's going to do it.
Check die hard Celtic man. But he finished his career playing for St Mirren. And I've met him a couple of times. He's
He
in.
was only 21 at the time, but that was his career finish.
Do you know that every now and again there's a couple of absolute standouts, and you've got to go. This will be before your time. A boy called Andy Ritchie played for Morton. He had the best left foot in the game, and he was the laziest footballer in the world. But he could score a free kick. If there was a free kick, 35 yards out, you just went, "Oh, fuck." You knew he was ripping the back of the net all day long. Now, I'm at Love Street. I was a wee boy, and there's a corner. And I've seen
That's a
Andy.
stadium. Love Street's a stadium.
Okay, I thought the story was getting interesting.
There's no splashes, dribbles, or anything going on here. There's a dribble or two, but that's by the by. So, Andy Ritchie comes over to take a corner, and there's a big group of folk getting so dogs abuse, absolute dogs abuse. He runs over and steals a fag out of a guy's mouth
Yeah.
and took the corner, smoking a fag. and I get booked for smoking on the pitch.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure that is a law, but you get booked for smoking on the pitch. The best one, however, I ever saw was we were playing Celtic. And Celtic at the time had a young boy called Anton Rogan playing for them, an Irish boy. Now, the week before at Ibrox, I think Celtic were playing Rangers. And Mark Walters, young English boy, was down the corner, and somebody threw a banana on the pitch, which is obviously a massively racist thing. It's a black player, and they threw a banana on the pitch. No, they didn't throw on jam and butter and all that.
It's a very racist.
Very, very racist thing. It was all the ooh-oohs and all that shit. It was terrible, disgusting what was going on.
Was it mid-90s, early 90s?
Late 80s, early 90s. And on came this. So we are playing Celtic the following week. And Anton Rogan comes over right in front of the North Bank, and he goes to take a throw in. And he just stops. You see this thing bouncing. And he stops. Somebody throwing a potato in the park. He's an Irish boy. And he came on and picked the potato up, and he just turned round, and everyone's laughing, and he was laughing his head off. He put it down, just applauding their support. It was like, good on you. That's good batter. And then they beat us 5-0. Fuck them.
Yeah.
But that was one of the nicest things. But between Andy Ritchie stealing a cigarette out of somebody's mouth and playing on while smoking,
Again,
and Anton Rogan getting a potato thrown at him, I was like, this is great. I love it.
Wow.
All right.
Where are we? So, favourite dram this year out with Drammore?
Out with.
Oh, now there's a question. I've had a few.
I was going to say, do you get the opportunity to?
Not that often, in fairness. When you're at a festival.
Great, Red. Nice to have you on.
Every now and again, I get a chance to do a wee run around and have a look at a few different things. Not so often, but I was quite fortunate when I'm working at a festival in Belgium. My distributor is a man called Jurgen Vromans, who is also an independent bottler in his own right. And he bottles in Belgium as a whiskey mercenary. He's a 26-year-old Tobermory that, you know, that way every now and again you got a dram, and every bit, I'm looking at how the tears play to the nose, to the taste, just want to go like that. It was absolutely breathtaking. I'm going to have it fresh, not a lot. I've actually very, very few, because I'm so consumed. I mean, when you're a really small independent bottler, you're working 7 days a week. There are no days off, there are no holidays. My last holiday was 2018. And even then, Vic and I had agreed that we'd get up in the morning, we'd have our breakfast. Breakfast was a business meeting. What do we have to do today? And at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, like, I don't care what email you're writing, finish it. Computers go in the safe, lock the safe, and the rest of the day is ours. Since we started this, we've not had a day off. Christmas Day, Boxing Day, there is no point doing it. There's no one to talk to. But that's an imposed day off, rather than I'm choosing to take time off. So we work 7 days a week, 50 odd weeks a year, pretty much. Always concentrating on this. So if I'm doing a festival in Scotland, I'm driving, so I can't taste anybody else's stuff. If I'm doing a festival abroad, we're actually we've grown well, we're pretty popular abroad. So the minute I get behind that stand, I do not move until the minute we finish, because it's just bang, 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 bang. I can tell you a terrible whiskey I've had. So I was in Den Haag last year, and a good friend of mine, Gert, came over, and he had a 33-year-old single cask fine bank. Told me what it was, and I thought, oh, well, I'm looking forward to this. And I got the glass, it'll be by time, you know. So no, pretty bitter, mate. But sometimes the nose lies. Oh, okay. oh. I went, no. I went, oh, hell no. I said, Gert, if I wanted that flavour, and we're in a stunning big church, is where the festival is in the middle of the egg, I'd walk out of this church, cross the road, and lick a tree. It's just wood. There's nothing left in it. So, bizarrely, I remember the whiskies that I really not liked over the whiskies that I really have liked. I've had some really nice stuff from Uncharted. What Jack and Dana are doing, they do some really, really nice stuff. Some nice ones from Little Brown Dog. I tend to steer away now from distillery releases because they're 40, 43%, and I just can't deal with that anymore. It's like, why
The nature of
it's just wishy-washy, nothing. Everything I do, I'm so used to cask strength. I tried a sample of rum the other night. I'll show you a photo of this. So my rum samples came in, and Victoria's given me, so right, we've got to try all these rum samples, right? Okay. She's going through them and look at this. I'm like, what is it? And I'm looking for a really good white rum. 91% alcohol. Oh, that's going to clean my chips. That's going to be good. Genuinely, it was delicious. Oh, I slept like the dead. 91% alcohol was that.
Do you have any tubes left after that?
Oh, hey, listen, professional alcohol. I can't find it. Jesus, man.
Wow.
But going back to 40% alcohols, it's like the most boring thing you could ever be offered. And I just think, why are we doing this? Why is the industry not moving to a base level of 46 unchill filtered? Yeah, I know, 100%. And that is the way it should be. That's the way, and the whole reason they're not is because they're taking a cask that may be 55, 56, 58, mixing them all together. They get a whole batch, which is round about the mid 50s, and then they're bringing it all the way down to 40, which means you're buying 14% water, and that water, you're paying single malt whiskey price for that water. So they're maximising the profit for it. And I hate it. I don't like it. They're chill filtering when it gets to that age, that strength, it's chill filtered. We've lost so many esters out of that whiskey. It's killing what is an incredibly good product.
I'm going to throw in a caveat on that is,
On you go, and I'll take something peated just to piss myself. Very mildly peated.
I do think you look at the whiskey
You've
industry,
not tried that.
how many people do we introduce to whiskey through a 40%, Balvenie, whatever it is, get introduced and then build themselves up to this. If you hit somebody with a 58, 59%, they're not going to.
Oh no, I totally
I
agree.
think we need that side.
I totally agree.
On the flip side of it,
This is just me venting.
what I do believe in, and it's something I've only recently really started to kind of try and put across in my tastings is just because that's 52% or that's what 55, 53, because it's bottled at cask strength, that doesn't mean you have to drink it at cask strength. It gives what a natural cask strength bottle does is give you as a customer to drink it at whatever strength you want.
You're in control.
It's not.
You're in control.
You know,
It's
here's
not
that.
imposed on you.
Drink it like that. It's, you know, you give full control over the customer, how much water you put into it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like if you buy chilies and you're cooking, you don't have to put the whole bag of chilies in.
Yeah.
You put what you want in.
And I think people, we're the worst at it when we're at the bar and you're pouring a dram. The customer is far worse for this than the industry is. Well, you have to drink it from the bottle. Don't add anything to it. Don't add some neat. You know,
Yeah.
And if you're, with somebody who's used to drinking Glenfiddich, they say you're all on the Z would do 40% pretty standard. You give them something.
I struggle. Yeah.
And we're putting more people off whiskey.
Do you know, Jen, I completely agree with you. And you know what I'm looking at it from my point of view, and I'm personally just bored, shitless with these things. I'll go to, you know, some of the biggest whiskey festivals in Europe, and I look around the room, and all I see is bourbon, sherry, bourbon, sherry, 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 bourbon, bourbon, sherry, sherry, oh, port. Bourbon, sherry, 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 bourbon, 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 sherry. All 40%, all chill filtered. I'm like, Jesus, man, how boring.
Is it good night to Steve? Good night, buddy. Great to have you.
Cheers,
on.
pal.
Thanks for your input.
Lovely seeing you.
Some great ideas for the teaspoon, but he's up at 5 a.m. We might still be going at this rate. Tune in on your drive to work, mate.
See if I can be slow awake. Let's be like,
It's a miracle we've got anyone still talking to us, to be honest with you.
But yeah, he's on the go, so.
You're 100% right. When you come into whiskey, it's a terrifying enough first step, and if we make it even more challenging for them, they're not going to stay. But the one thing we don't do is get the young drinkers, and this is where the festivals are so important, and show them how to drink it.
Yeah.
It's not just what they're drinking.
You get so many people.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier on. I love these smaller festivals where you get the opportunity to talk to them. And I get the one in Newcastle last year. There was a video on, and there was a young lad saying, and he couldn't remember my name. Just went, Dram Mor, and the big guy that ran the shop. I'm like, all right, that's nicely put. Oh, I can listen to him all day. Oh, Christ, you do need a drink.
That was Steve.
Aye. But it was lovely because you get the chance to engage with them and go, right, here's how I want you to drink this. Don't drink it here. Drink it here. Spend a wee bit of time, have a wee look. Forget legs, we're looking for tears. Check out the tears.
Forget legs, by the time you're leaving, you won't
You'll not need them. So, but always spend more time here than here. So where do you taste things? Here. Bullshit. You taste them here. That's just where you put stuff. If you've got a stinking head cold, you could be served the best meal in the world, and you taste nothing because that's not working. Even a whiskey I know inside and out, I'll still spend a wee bit of time in the nose to remind me.
yeah.
And then I'll drink it.
I just think it's funny when you talk about somebody in the industry or whiskey geek. Me and Louise, who worked at the shop when our husband, Louise, just like manager guys, our partner viewing. And Paul, who's still watching, we all went to the grill, like the grill bar in Aberdeen. So the grill was a fantastic mashup of whiskey and old men drinking tenants. And like you can find this geeks in the room because like you've got.
Can you do both? Because I'm a whiskey geek and I can still kind of cope with tenants.
So like you can figure out the whiskey geeks because
expert strength on.
Oh, genuine European tennis is bang on. It's at 6.5. That's
But yeah, you have like the people and they've got like their sort of whiskey chaser, and they're just drinking their whiskey. Whereas you've got people whiskey geeks who are like just stood there for ages, just nosing the whiskey.
But there's also that. There's also that where you get these folk who get a dram.
Is that
and you see them?
Empty glasses.
You know, you see them and they're doing this, and they're doing this. And I'm watching them go, you have no fucking idea what you're doing, do you? They're just doing it to show off, and look at me, I look very posh. Same, they'll do it with wine as well. All right, look at that. Hey, look at that, wine. All right, yeah, it's wine, yeah. What, so why are you doing this? Well, I'm just looking at wine in a more posh way.
Yeah.
I've seen someone else do it. It looks posh. Fucking behave.
What we also need to stop is people wearing their glass on lanyards because I can't fucking reach. When they come over for a dram, I'm like,
But they have those little clips.
well, yeah.
But that's great.
Taking it off is easy. It's
No, that's one of the most entertaining things is a lanyard. Because at the beginning of the day, if they're well mannered, they will release the lanyard, give the glass, you pour it, drink, clip on, all good. And they spend all day just dropping their glass because it's attached. Then when they're really steaming come the end of the night, they get it, they do that, they forget they haven't attached it and just drop their glass. Marvelous, well done, mate. That's fantastic. And you can see the minute let it go, they go, I don't it.
Or they just lean at you, and you're like,
And it's like swinging.
Oh, I have had like a guy nearly lying on the table, going, right, here you go.
Water. That's the new make, mate. Try that.
Pour over the head rather than the mouth. It'll do you a favour, son. It'll do you a favour.
That's Jura is just put up on. Yeah, some people just want to drink, not taste.
yeah.
You want
right, Dutch, yeah. 100% right, lads. If you think of what we talked about all the way back to the very beginning, when we were talking about why I don't do a huge amount, likes of the Wilmington Clyde one, they've got no interest in tasting. They're there to get paralytic.
Get their money's worth.
I've spent 40 quid on this ticket. I am going to get so stociously drunk, I'm out the game for 3 days. That's what I'm in it for.
Yeah.
And they are exactly the person I never want to see at a whiskey festival. Utterly, 100% the person I do not want to see. I want to see a young lad. I had a wee boy come up to me in Belgium years and years ago. And he says to me, and this is exactly verbatim what he said, "Excuse me, sir, I apologise. I fear I may be a little drunk."
Oh.
And I thought, well, I'll be honest with you, pal, the very fact that you could say that. Oh, I was way drunker than that when I'm working. The very fact that he could say that in another language meant that he was nowhere near as drunk as the vast majority of folk I'm used to. And he's sitting and he's got his tokens because they've got to pay for their drams. And at the time, still working with Glengoyne at the time, he said, I would love to try a 25-year-old Glengoyne, but I see it's 8 tokens. I've only 6 left. Can I get a very small one?
Oh.
I kind of looked at the watch and went, right, you got a half an hour left, pal. So I tell you what we'll do. I've about that left in the bottle. Give me your glass. Tapped it. Handed it to him. You go and spend your 8 tokens somewhere else. That's on me.
Mm-hmm.
The look in his face. And I'll never forget the look in his face was like, it's like I'd given him the world. I'd just given him what was left in a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
The appreciation. And to this day, I can guarantee that boy will be die-hard Glengoyne fan because of that one thing. And to us, it's nothing. It's look, I'm not going to take that home. I'm not going to put it. Just fucking tip it.
If you don't drink it,
If you don't drink it, I'm going to in a wee while. So yeah, bang it in. But the look in his face and the politeness and the respect that he gave me when he walked up to say, I would really like to try this, but whereas I worked for Speyside Distillery down at Drambusters in the Borders, and I've literally had folk going, can I try that whilst I'm making a bottle off at the side of the table and all these things? They're like, boys, can I just explain something here? See if I turn round, can you show me the zip on the back of my head? Because it's no fucking there. Behave yourselves. Right, do me a favour, fuck off. Go and steal for somebody else, but don't steal for me. And it's night and day. And it's all to do with the fact that folk just want to get bulleted.
yeah.
They're not interested in what you've got. They're not interested. Can I tell you this? No. Even if you get the time to tell me the story, do you know what, big man? Couldn't give a fuck. I've got it in my glass. I'm a happy man now.
We had Dave Stark on 2 weeks ago, and we are talking about the Leith Festival, the Indie Festival. And that was one of the things that they really wanted that festival to avoid was just people coming in.
Baby merchants.
Like we were saying earlier, it's called.
It was such a good festival because they attracted the
Whiskey
right
people.
Yeah.
who were right. And I think that was a part of the indie festival that, you know, people who are drinking to get drunk have no idea who Little Brown Dog or Claxton. They don't recognise these
No.
names. But if you're putting like put it
Glenfiddich, Glenmorangie.
these guys, oh, it's a whiskey festival, we'll go.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it becomes a niche festival.
Are big.
And these guys are thinking, oh, it's all geeks and fancy. Oh,
It's all Ponzi.
yeah, you're like,
They're going to get a wee fucking crystal pipette suit and all that shit.
That's the impression that these guys get. They're avoiding it big great.
Well, good. They can bugger off.
Get
They-
a little bit side.
Listen,
Enjoy.
do not get me wrong. I love a good dram too many. I love a good dram too many. But even to the very death, I'll appreciate what's in my glass. It's not all about, how would you put it, cause and effect. I know because I'm really enjoying that, there's going to be a certain effect on me. I'm not doing it for the effect, I'm doing it because of the cause, not for the effect.
Yeah.
It's because I love what I'm drinking. It's because I really enjoy the experience, the taste, the flavour profiles, the complexities. I love all of that. And yes, the effect is I might be a wee bit wobbly on my way to my bed. Maybe a wee bit more wobbly on the way to my bed. My hand just might fall. Shit happens.
Your key comes really heavy.
But in fairness,
Pulls your wrist.
that's why they give you two hands. You've got a spare. So you're okay. But it's never done with, all right, my dad's funeral, it might have been done with, I'm just getting plastered here.
Yeah.
But in every other circumstance, I'm doing it because I'm really, really enjoying what I'm doing. I'm really enjoying the company. Obviously not tonight, but I'm really enjoying the company. I'm loving the drams. I'm not drinking one thing all night. Fuck Dram Mor. We're not selling that shit anymore.
Get some goodies on the table.
Oh, we're back to the strap on then for me. And that's, it's all the way back to just respecting what we've got.
Mhm.
I've always held the belief, if you show it respect, it will respect you back.
Yeah.
If you disrespect it, it'll bite you in the ass like a fucking tiger. Every single one of us has woke up after a wee bit too much of this. And it's unforgiving if you go overboard on this. Unforgiving. As is the wife that I've got, when I do go overboard on this, but
Will she be sitting at home watching?
critiquing. Actually, no, she's out with our South Korean distributor.
All right. Okay. So she's entertaining.
She's very entertaining. I just hope she's not that entertaining. Otherwise, if her orders to South Korea go through the roof, she's been too entertaining.
Do what you got to do to make money?
No, I just had the fear because I just knew they were getting to the point where you're going to ask me who's on next week. So I'm just going to
Oh, is that what you were doing? Okay.
Who's on next week?
So who's on next week?
Who's on next week, Kat?
It is Historic Alley. So he is a historian.
Oh, I'll no bother then.
really?
I'll no bother then. Right, I'll skip that.
This is an illicit distillation. The history of
Sounds fucking fascinating.
No, not actual.
just the history of it. I don't think that's the illicit distillation. We're not putting it out.
Turns up in his garage.
Right, so hopefully there's something on the telly next week, guys. That'll be good.
Wait, Mike's not even in this anymore. Like, look how much the camera's
Camera's moved again.
Yeah, it's just because you were so
I
interested.
put my arm out to get my
Yeah, but we've done this and then I look like Elon Musk, so I didn't want to do
it's through
it.
the hand. I think you have to show. Oh. Yeah, it's.
Hello. That way. Come with me. Come with me. Come with me.
camera. Look.
Goodbye. Down that way. That's the way.
Oh.
Where is it going to go?
Back over here. Come with me. Hello.
Oh, it's going.
Hello. I want to see you. Come on.
If you
Come
sit
on.
down
Don't
now,
be shy. Don't be shy. Come on. Yeah.
God, it likes you.
What is you?
I might have to stay really
Can't go and sit in Kenny's seat.
sit on your house on your knee.
Oh, listen, you're tiny. It'll work. Could be 2 divorces this year.
I'm not taking on your missus.
No, she's fearsome. She's fearsome.
She's awesome, but
Ah.
like, I'm not gonna have to sit.
The force is strong.
I won't have
Go back, go behind.
Okay.
See,
There you go.
It's all about you.
It's all of it.
Wait, can you see my
The
sleeve?
camera hates. No, enough. No.
Okay.
Camera hates me.
I know it's like
It's
pretty
probably,
turned
it's
up.
probably just anti-me.
It could be. It could just go blank.
Right, do you want to try and swap and see what happens? Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Just but hold it, hold it, hold it. Still looking at you. There's no scene. Ah! And I'm falling off my chair. And I'm falling off my chair. A fucking camera get that, didn't it? Camera got that. I'm just gonna sit here.
You know, that might be a good time to end the blend.
Oh, I don't know. We're going to get. June's going to spike you.
I'm just gonna sit here in my huff.
What did you fall
My own 2 feet. My own 2 feet. Caught in the carpet.
Oh my god.
Stop!
First time it happened. It's fine.
I was looking at the camera, sorry.
Nobody's watching this.
No, thank God this isn't going in live. That would be embarrassing.
But your hand didn't fall off, so it's alright.
No, but that one's sprained. That's another story.
Wow.
Well, guys, I mean. Thank you.
Listen, you can no idea the choreograph that, Cal. We were working fucking hard on that, by the way.
Oh my god.
We've been practicing that for weeks.
Yeah. We get that in a t-shirt somehow.
I mean, that might come up next week and he's sitting out at Collins and watching.
There is a strong possibility. Callum, big drums, keep your mouth shut. Okay?
That's going on a mug. Like,
That is going in a mug.
He's getting that in a mug.
Good job you didn't have. We can AI that.
Listen, hot ball. See if you have that.
I didn't
You'll see it's Cat's fault
I
all
have-
day
I have
long. I'm
not
shocking.
taken responsibility for that at all. Oh, right. It's probably we probably just need to end it for tonight now. After that.
I feel like it's just the start of a new conversation.
But it's a new low. It's a whole new low.
Guys, thank you so much for sticking around just for that. Absolutely made it worthwhile.
Do I have to go over and like?
Um, I mean, you don't have to, but
What,
you know,
I mean,
otherwise we're going to stay alive.
Right, well, you gradually do your.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Bye, everybody.
that is Cat, turn it off.
Bye.
Bastard.
Well, hang on.